What's going on? What's going on, film fam? Welcome to another episode of Let the Film Speak. I am one of your hosts, Chop. Here with my main man, Willie Jack. Willie Jack, how you feeling today, bro?
Hey man, it's Victory Wednesday, man. I'm feeling good, feeling great, man.
Feeling good, feeling great,
Feeling
man.
good,
Victory
feeling great.
Wednesday. Hey, man, it's Victory Wednesday over here today, too, bro. Victory Wednesday over here for me, too. Hey,
Yeah, you're welcome.
I appreciate it, my brother. I appreciate that, man. Definitely appreciate that, Willie Jack, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, like I said, welcome to another episode of Let the Film Speak. I'm Chop here with my main man, Willie Jack. It's another week of great football in the books, man. And it's sad to say we only got 2 weeks left of regular season football.
Man,
Then
that's
it's
crazy.
playoff time, man. Then the stakes rise. You know what I'm saying? They continue to go up. Every game counts, even for a lot of teams right now, man. So we got a couple other teams clinch spots in the playoffs. You know, so we'll see how this season will break down and see who's going to be the last few teams to earn their playoff spots, man. But first, before we go into everything today, man, we got some news we're going to hit you with. But we got house rules first, man. And that's like, share, and subscribe. I tell y'all each and every week, each and every episode, like, share, and subscribe. Become a member of the film fam. Me and Willie Jack, we got room in the pad, man. We got plenty of room, man. Come in, kick your shoes off, get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Come jam with your boys, man. Another thing, while you're here, I need you to ring that notification bell, man. Ring that notification bell before you leave out of here today. You ring that house, you're going to know exactly what's going on with me and Willie Jack and what we got coming up soon. So I guarantee you won't be left out. You know what I'm saying? We won't leave you behind, you know, and we're going to make sure you're taken care of if you become a member of the film fam, man. So without further ado, Willie Jack, I think it's about time for us to jump in the news, man. And I don't know if everybody's been, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if everybody's been kind of paying attention, you know what I'm saying? And no, and speaking of, you know, shout out to No Balls, No Glory in the,
Hey, in the
early,
building.
baby. They in the building early, man. Appreciate y'all boys, man. Appreciate y'all for checking it in. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, let's go ahead and jump into the news, Willie Jack, man.
Let's
And
do it.
what we got today is Nathaniel Hackett, man. He is out as the head coach of the Denver Broncos. Willie Jack, the writing was on the wall, wasn't it?
Man, it was, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I think I want to say either one, two, or the both of us called for that man's job probably sometime around maybe it was me. Sometime around a day after week one. You know what I'm saying? We looked like the boy that had the chops, man. when the boy
I
started
think
out,
we both had something, you know,
yeah.
in terms of that. Like, I don't know what's going on, man. But
Yeah. So our eyebrows kind of got raised week one, man. Didn't like the time management, didn't like the lack of onions. You know what I'm saying? My dog Chopper tell you. And then, but like I said, you know, in fairness though, you know, like I said, that's that's his first time out. By week three, I was done with him though. By week three, I'm pretty sure I was like, hey man, his job one on ones is up, gotta be. And so they finally make the move. And honestly, this is the only thing you can't do. Somebody's got to pay. You know, it's got to be somebody's got to take the fall for just how bad this thing has went. It can't be the $250 million quarterback who you just signed and who now your organization is hamstrung to for at least these next 3-4 years. And so easy out is the coach. The head coach is the next guy out. Now, not to say that I don't think that he was a big part of that problem, but definitely the problem was deeper than him. But yeah, I'm not mad at the decision at all to get him up out of there.
For sure. And the thing was, even if you want to play it that way, if you want to drum it up that way in terms of, all right, somebody's got to go. The other part of that is Nathaniel Hackett on his own, like you're in charge of decision making, you know, time management, all those different things, you know, and it showed early that he froze up in big moments, man. When the game was on the line, you know, when decisions needed to be made and the right decision needed to be made, he froze up. And that's just what he did, you know, routinely, you know, earlier in this season. You know, so yeah, we can talk about how bad Russell Wilson is playing and, you know, everything else that's just not lining up, you know, and maybe paint or give excuses that way. But at the end of the day, he wasn't showing up the way a head coach should in those key moments and putting his team in the right position and making the right decisions at the right time. You know what I'm saying? One specifically, the one with me and you were really, you know, upset about was earlier in the season where you go for what it was a 60-yard field goal or something like
65.
that.
It was just such a bust.
Instead of going for with your over $200 million quarterback on a 4th and 2 or
it's like 4th and 2. Wasn't it like a 4th and a long 2? I want to say.
Yeah, it was 4th and short either way. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a lot. So that's where he kind of had to go with it, and he just wasn't making those right decisions and putting his team in, in the right situations at those time periods. So the question mark's been there, but they said, hey, it's about time we make a move because you can't endure another season like they endured this year.
No, for sure. And shout out to Just Talking to You in the building, man. He said he should have been fired a few weeks ago. Thinks the team laid down on purpose to get him fired. Now, here's one thing I say. Now, whether or not he should have been fired a few weeks ago, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, if you'd have told me any time after, I was with that. So I don't necessarily disagree there. But now the only thing I will disagree with is I won't say that the players lay down because in football, man, you can't. The other side's not taking the play off. And when you going half speed, like if you're trying to resist that 50%, the guy push you at 100%, he's gonna snap whatever 50% resistance you had. So that's a knee, that's an ankle, that's a collarbone. You know what I mean? So the players themselves, coach be damned, they still playing for their next year and they playing for their next team perhaps as well. And so the players can't afford to take that type of like unified stand and like mutiny a coach and sacrifice their own individual play, because when the coach goes, nobody's safe except your $250 million quarterback. So outside of your $250 million quarterback and maybe this most recent year's top draft picks, everybody else is food on that roster. So they can't afford to, to draw such a hard line as to say, hey, man, we're going out here and going to put it in the mud until y'all get them up out of here. Like, now, it don't necessarily work like that. Now, to one thing I do want to say that I think we probably should say, Chop, to be fair, when we critiquing Nathaniel Hackett, he was a rookie coach. And so a lot of that stuff like timekeeping and things of that nature, these are things generally attributed to young and inexperienced coaches. And so, I mean, in fairness, we do have to give him that type of credit. And then, like I said, then we know it was an issue for them in the organization because remember, they went out and hired the guy who takes over as the interim coach now was the guy who came in to be the time management assistant to help him guide those things. And I think we talked about it back then, like, man, hey, is this the dude who's, holding your leash now? And then, like, 12 weeks later, we're at the end of the year now, but then he is the guy named to be the interim coach, which at the time, honestly, I didn't think would happen because he just got there mid-season. Yeah. I thought it'd be at least one of the coordinators on the staff already. And so the fact that none of the retained staff coordinators were even given a job and there was this new guy brought in, man, new coach is going to bring in a new staff anyway. But in case there was thought that maybe there's a holdover or maybe somebody that has a chance, like a Steve Wilkes, to at least ride this out and get himself in a good standing, they ain't even playing that game. Yeah. So no, that's a whole brand new house. And that goes back to the point where we were saying those players got to play because, week 18 ain't promised for them. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody safe at this point.
For sure. You're absolutely right. And then one last thing I'll say too, on like my boy Brian, on his comment was the locker room was toxic, and when the locker room it was starting to get toxic, and things were starting to go haywire, and when things are starting to get that way, that also affects play. You know what I'm saying? You see body language on the field. Players pissed off. I don't know if it's Russell Wilson or who it is specifically in those situations, but you see players pissed off at something, on offense, getting frustrated because it's tough. And then if you're the defense, you've been playing defense all year long. You've been locked down all year long, and then you continue to affect or expect us to hold our end of the bargain all season long, and the offense is not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? So, hey man, it's one of those things where it just needs to be. The things need to be fixed. So yeah, they got rid of the head coach and you move forward. When they go into this off season, in terms of the Denver Broncos. So I need to see how that goes.
No, exactly. And then real quick, man, has anybody? I don't know if you've seen those like alleged quotes that have came out from Nathaniel Hackett, like taking shots at Russell Wilson and everything. So I'm assuming those are like memes and like people playing with it. Or do we know if
I haven't seen anything.
Man.
If it is, it's gonna be more that's gonna come out in regards to that. It's gonna be more.
Exactly. I think. I didn't believe any of it at first, and I only seen a couple. But then I think I seen one that was like reposted on like a Shefty page or like an NFL like page. Since I was like, hold on, wait a minute, is it possible that this was really getting said? But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, just I think it was probably people having fun with it.
For sure. All right, Willie Jack. And speaking of that news, man, I think it only makes sense that we dive right on in Then we dive right on into that Denver game, man. So Denver coming off that ugly loss, man, to the Rams, man. The Rams take care of this game. They win this one 51-14, man, and a blowout. I don't think anybody's seen that game coming, you know. And like I said, they win the game 51-14. Willie Jack, man, what's your take on that one? What happened? You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, Big Bake, man. Big Bake is doing it. Big Bake did what he had to do, man. And but not in all honesty, now Baker did what he had to do though. It was a clean game by Baker, 24 for 28, 230, 2 touchdowns, no picks. And so very clean performance by him. That you can't ask for more. But the key to the game for sure, Cam Akers. Cam Akers finally looking like the guy who they thought they were getting when they drafted him out of Florida State, I want to say 3 years ago. And so 23 for 118, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Big day for Tyler Higbee, 9 for 94, 2 touchdowns, caught both of Baker's touchdown passes in this game as well. That defense, though, the Rams defense was on the. I mean, it was pretty bad. I think they finished with 6 or 7 sacks, 4 interceptions, 3 of those committed by Russell Wilson. And so, 15 for 27, 214, 1 touchdown, the 3 interceptions we mentioned. Judy had a big day statistically, 6 for 117. And then, of course, as we know, man, this game right here was the straw that broke the coaching camel's back. And like I said, Hackett loses his job after this performance. But yeah, nah, man, just that defense, namely, and then clean football by Baker. And like I said, that running game really just kind of pacing the way for most of that day, man. And they definitely got this done. Like I said, man, 4 turnovers. I mean, it's just
yeah. But you know what? It's one of those games where like, and then I don't know if any of you have been a part of games like this, but I've been a part of games where it's just like everything is going right for my team, like everything. You know, I'm talking about from defense, offense, like everything is going right. 6 sacks, 4 interceptions. On offense, we got scored 5 touchdowns, 2 passing, 3 rushing. Like there wasn't an area in this game that the Rams didn't play well in. You know, and if you have one of those games where just everything is clicking, you have games like this where you can come out and you can blow out a team like Denver. You know, now it was surprising because Denver's defense has been solid all year long, but like I said earlier, man, when you start to go into toxic situations or situations start to become toxic, that makes more sense.
I got you.
Things start to fall apart, man, and things start to go by the wayside. People get frustrated, people get tired of this, tired of that. And it affects play, you know, and it showed, and it also was getting to a point where Nathaniel Hackett, I think he was starting to lose his locker room. So they made the right move with that, and Rams was just on the other side of that situation, and they were played a hell of a game that game too. So.
And you know what I'm thinking about, man. And I just thought about this whole Denver, and I guess to go ahead and let us get out of it after this. But this whole Denver fiasco, they just mismanaged the whole like PR campaign for like bringing Russ in. Like Russ was a joke before this season started, and so like I think their PR department, they misjudged who and what Russ is and who and like how he's viewed in this league. So they tried to have like a fanfare, all the promo. Let's ride, Denver,
Broncos country.
Let's ride. You know what I mean? Like they had all these little things going on, but I think it'd been one thing if it was meant to intentionally play on his corniness, and so then it's like they're making fun of themselves, and then we can, you know what I mean? It's different. But when you do it and you think you slick, you think you suave, and like, nah, you just corny as hell. Like, you know what I mean? Like the PR push they did, like they treated it like Peyton Manning was coming to the Broncos again. You know what I mean? Like, nah, bro. Like, you got to understand who and what you got. You know what I mean? Like, not that he's not capable, but like, nah, he doesn't have that type of like viable marketability, because all it did was make them a joke before season start. And then you can't already have people snickering, and then play like you do, and then just add fuel to that fire. And then, like,
the only thing they could have did to say that was win. If they'd have win, they probably could have made it. It's time. But you come in like that now, and everybody really running with it now. Broncos country, let's ride.
Let's ride.
Yeah, so teams are running with it now, man. Teams are running with it. On to the next game, Willie Jack, and this one has a little bit to do with some of the news as well, man. We got the Las Vegas Raiders. They went to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers, and the Steelers end up coming away with that W, man, 13-10, 13-10. And me and Willie Jack, we talked about this game, man, and we talked about the significance of this, especially after the passing of the late great legend,
Franco Harris.
for the Franco Perez for the Steelers, and Will, you talked about it, and I was going with the Raiders at first, but then it made me think about it. I was like, yeah, they're not losing this game, and sure enough, they came and pulled it out. That offense wasn't able to really, get much going this entire game, but it's when you've been around football for a long time, man. It's something about those football guys, man. You know what I'm saying? It was gonna get right. At some point it was gonna get right in terms of who was supposed to win that game. And it did. It happened that way. Pickett's with the late touchdown grab.
Mm-hmm.
And they were able to take care of business. And Boswell back, kicking well again. Back kicking well. I know he had an injury.
He missed too.
Earlier. Yeah, he had an injury earlier in the season, man. So he's starting to get back. A couple kickers actually suffered injuries this year that started to struggle, and it's slowly getting back into it. The guy Harrison Butker with Kansas City, he struggled for a little while too. But all that to say, man, the Steelers they stuck at it. As we said, that building was loud, and they were ready. They were fired up and ready to go, man. And they came and took care of business. Came away with the W in this game. Willie Jack, I'll let you touch on it, and then we can talk about the other news in this situation too.
Yeah, just like you said, ugly game all the way around, man. So the Raiders come out and they actually, I don't know if it was, I think it was their first drive. I think it was their first drive when they went down the field, they scored. It was an out route to Hunter Renfrow. It was a great throw and catch just outside the fingertips of a defender, snags it right on the sideline, ends up turning it up and getting in the end zone. And so they come out pretty strong. And then from there, I don't think either team really scored. No, Raiders get one more field goal, and then I think we get a field goal. But like I said, very measured offense for the remainder of the game. Pickett 26 for 39, 244, one touchdown, one pick. I already told you the touchdown went to the game-winning touchdown catch to Pickens. The defense, though, man, really, really stepped up and made a lot of plays this game. Cam Hayward was the AFC Defensive Player of the Week as a result of this game. 7 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks. And I was commenting, of course, during the game, as y'all probably know. I was in the chat. And I commented he was having a day. Like, he was completely dominating just from the outset of that game. So really, really had it on his mind and on his heart to go out there and, like I said, leave his mark, man, in honor of Franco. And so definitely did that. We pull it out. And then, man, this game, the straw that broke Derek Carr's back. Not bench for the remainder of the season as a result of this game. And it was ugly ball, man. Those 3 picks, and they were honestly bad picks. I mean, it was just forced throws. A lot of them were. I think one of them was a tip pass or something like that, or went through a receiver's hand or something. But not just bad decision making, bad placement. And man, he's just been playing bad ball, and so he goes ahead and he takes the sit down there or over in Las Vegas. But there it is. Now that's my question. Throw it back to you. What's next for Derek Carr, man? What's next for Derek Carr? Give me 3 potential locations for Derek Carr right now. And then of the 3, you tell me which one is your favorite, which one you think is most likely, whichever. You know what I mean?
3 landing spots for Derek Carr.
Yeah.
1, I believe, can be the Jets.
Okay.
Another spot, Willie Jack, I believe. Let me see. We got the Jets. I actually think the Saints can be an option.
Mm-hmm.
Saints can be an option. And then my last one, I go Washington. Man. And Washington is actually my favorite spot. My favorite spot for him. You got some young talent over there for sure. You got a head coach in Ron Rivera who I feel like I think he's established himself, and to me, as a good head coach. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say he's the tops or whatever, but I think he's established himself as a good head coach. I think under a guy like Ron Rivera, Derek Carr can have can start over first and foremost. He's a good savvy veteran. He has some he has some good ball in him. Right now, it's rough. You know what I'm saying? He's leading the league in interceptions, only 6%, 60% passing completion percentage. You know what I'm saying? So things are rough right now. But I think put in a situation like that, um, I think would be optimal for him. You know, optimal for him. Now, I did hear some rumblings from some people about maybe the 49ers, if that could be an option for him.
Yeah, I saw that too.
You know, or maybe maybe some it's another teams out, there's some more teams out there too, and 49ers I don't think would be a bad option for them either. Now, what do they want? What are you giving up for that? Or are you saying, all right, I'm gonna go give him my young guy for that, and my young guy in Trey Lance, or do you feel like Brock Purdy he's playing well? And we'll get to that too, but I think Washington just offers the best options around for him, the best scenario for him. I think I like that one the best because, of course, they're looking for a QB in that room, and I think he could be a good option for that.
No, for sure. And I think I commented on. I was talking in the group on a poster that was talking about the release, and I was saying, and what I was telling to one of the members was like, man, there's gonna be a market for Derek Carr. Like, y'all crazy as hell. Like, Derek Carr is definitely a starting quarterback in the league. He's going to have several options. And all three of those teams you just listed are definitely viable. Carolina's still in that mix. Honestly, no, I wouldn't going to say that. I was going to say, depending on how things play out with Geno Smith, Seattle could be an option, honestly. Yeah. I do like what you said as far as the fit or the mix with San Francisco. With them already having the storm they have with Jimmy G and Trey Lance and now Brock Purdy, they not bringing any more quarterbacks to that building.
They don't want no more problems.
They don't want no more. They don't want no more quarterbacks in that room. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily think them, but I do like that fit because he's sneaky athletic. He's a guy. He ran 4.5 at the combine. Yeah. He's another guy like an Alex Smith where nobody really, he doesn't come to your mind, but he rolls with anybody. You know what I mean? So he's definitely athletic. And like I said, and man, he can get it done. Like I said, he's got good ball in him. This experiment with him and Josh Daniels failed miserably, but now there's definitely still plenty of good ball left in Derek Carr. I'm convinced. And he's still a young guy, relatively. He's what? Is he 31? Yeah, 31 max. I don't, what I'm saying?
He is 31.
Okay, yeah. 31. And so, yeah, man, he's got another decade to play this game. You know what I mean? Assuming he stays healthy. And so, like I said, there's tons of places for him to still play. Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with any one of the ones you said. And actually, honestly, depending on what they do with Zach, I think the Jets actually does make the most sense. Because I think you have to move on from Zach Wilson. You got to make a move there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's just got to the point where it's so toxic that, I mean, it's just on both sides. Like, you just call it what it is.
It doesn't help that it's New York, too. You know, so we know what New York is.
No, exactly.
It doesn't help that it's New York.
Man, that's a damn good point, Chop, because like you're right. Not in that media market, some other – yeah. You know what I mean? Another market that could have been mum's the word. It could have been a non-issue, or it wouldn't have the attention that it has had. So That's a very good point, man. And now that you say that, I don't know about Derek Carr in New York as well with that pressure and that media. So that might not be a good fit.
But see, the difference is you got a 31-year-old, a veteran who's been in the league, mm-hmm. So who knows how to handle a little bit of it.
Yeah,
I think he definitely handles it better. Can handle it better than Zach, and then also
better than Zach. But this is the same guy who cried just 3 weeks ago. New York ain't pulling no punches on him. That is a disaster waiting to happen.
No, that's fine. Crying ain't gonna hurt nothing. The thing with Zach Wilson is it was with his teammates first. And I'm gonna tell you one thing: Derek Carr, if he went over to the Jets, them boys is gonna get the rock. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be able to put the like Garrett Wilson and them. They're not gonna be able to. They're not gonna be complaining about not getting a rock, or you know what I'm saying, or Derek Carr making some of those same mistakes that Zach Wilson was making.
I mean, mistakes, yeah, but even. Well, I'm gonna say mistakes different from just flat out turnovers, but just lack of just making plays, just lack of production, period. So it wasn't even about like he wasn't just super turnover prone because he didn't throw many interceptions, but he wasn't productive. And so I think that there's a little bit of a difference there. Right. But no, I don't, man, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like his temperament in New York. And I think that opens the way for an easier back door, even though I don't think that they're wanting to go down this rabbit hole again because they've done it 4 times now. But the Colts, the Midwest Colts, as a calm market, as a calm fan base, you know what I'm saying? Like, It doesn't have the pressure of West Coast with the Raiders and established, fandom out there. And now you're in Vegas. It doesn't have the pressure of New York, who New York is just like anything else. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so it doesn't have those pressures. And so a market like Indianapolis would make the most sense. In Indianapolis, depending on where the draft falls out, they may miss like the optimal quarterback drafting slots in this draft if they've tumbled too far. Like if they fall out the top 10, let's say, then they may not be able to get the quarterback, or at least the quarterback that they would want to spend a top 10 pick on. And so then they may have to go back to the quarterback free agency well for, like I said, this fourth or fifth time since Andrew Luck bailed 2 days before the season. And Derek Carr will probably be that guy. I would have to think it's on top of that list.
Okay, I got you.
Hey, Jeff in the building, man. My bad. OG Jeff in the building, man. What up, fella? He's at the beer garden tuned in. Hey, we appreciate you, my boy. And I believe it was your birthday, man. I seen on the book. Happy birthday, film, to my film Jeff Walker in the building, man. Have one for me too, bro. If ain't nobody watching, have two for me.
Gotcha. All right, Willie Jack. On to the next one, man. And hey, man, it was a big one, man. This was a big game, and this is one that we were all talking about. And I know you talked about it a lot, Willie Jack, about Dallas. If y'all are a real team, y'all gotta win this one. Ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. When y'all come in here, y'all gotta win it, and they did, man. Dallas ends up coming away with the victory at home, taking on the Eagles, the best team in the NFL right now, and they win this one 40-34. Willie Jack, talk to me, man. What's your take on this?
Hey, exactly like you said, bro. That's exactly what I said. That's the challenge I laid out for Dallas. I say, look, man, if y'all want to be for real, all this, you know what I'm saying, everything that we all know, love, and hate about y'all, like, you got to show up. You got to win one that counts. You got to win a real game against a real opponent you've got to show up in a big moment, because that's been the knock for them, is that they never show up when the actual lights is on. And so this is the game I wanted to see it. And with Minshew being in place of Hurts, that's why I was like, there's no excuse. You got to win this game if y'all going to be, you know what I mean? And they went out there and got that done. Dak, 27 for 35, 347, 3 touchdowns in the air, 1 interception. The interception being a pick six to start the game for Dallas. Another 6 for 41 on the ground. Zeke, 16 for 55 and a touchdown. TP, man, my dog, quiet day, 9 for 19 rushing, 6 for 61 receiving. CeeDee Lamb ball. CeeDee Lamb, quiet as kept. This is what, 2-3 games in a row now, but he's really turning up.
He's coming on.
Yeah, man. Like he's took a whole nother, step. And so like he's in the midst of stepping away from guys like DJ Moore and Scary Terry.
He's trying to step in with AJ Brown. He's trying to step in.
Exactly what I was just going to say. And now he's trying to step into AJ Brown territory. And that's also AJ Brown, Deebo Samuels. Who else in the bottom of that kind of like 6 through 10? Whatever. But yeah, he's making a push for that. But looking real good, man. 10 for 122 touchdowns. Excellent acrobatics and body control. And so, man, everything that I liked about him coming out of Oklahoma, it's showing up in a big way. Minshew on the other side, man, 24 for 40, 355, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, and a rushing touchdown. Miles Sanders, 21 for 65. Devontae Smith, 8 for 113 and 2 touchdowns. Big day there. Philly's defense as well. So they have 6 sacks and a pick 6 in this game. And so I was going through, like, looking at the overall team statistics and things like that, because turnovers, time of possession, and some of these other things that generally trend towards which team won and which team lost. And so when you can get to another team's quarterback this frequently, 6 sacks, and that's not hits or pressures, but confirmed sacks. You got to him and took him down, right? 6 of those, a pick 6 as well. Like Philly, that's a game that same thing for you. You didn't have your starting quarterback, the guy who's by all accounts top 2 in the MVP standings, I would say for most of the pundits. It's, you know what I'm saying? So he's probably comfortably top 2 for most. Like I said, most of the pundits. And so you don't have him, but I'm not mad at what Minshew did in this game. You know what I mean? Like, now the 2 interceptions, I want to say, I think one of them was tipped, and I think one just may have been a bad pass.
The other one, I don't even know. It wasn't even a bad pass. I think it was a great play by the defender. The defender was right on the
okay. That's what I was trying to think.
Came in with like a one-handed interception with just good body position. So it was. I mean, it was good.
Okay, there we go. Yeah,
good pick by the Dallas defensive back for sure.
Okay, well, good, because that's what I was trying to think right now on the spot. I'm like, man, I don't think he necessarily like played bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he was.
He definitely. They didn't. Philadelphia didn't even punt in this game. They didn't punt not one time. The ball back to Dallas was through turnovers. You know what I'm saying? And that's what killed them in my opinion. You know, when I watched the game. You know, so I don't mean to cut you off. I'll let you.
No, you good. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah. But that's to me, that's what killed him in this game was the turnovers, because it wasn't just those 2 interceptions. Miles Sanders lost 2 fumbles, and one being one of the most crucial towards the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? So like Dallas wasn't doing much to stop Philly, you know, in this particular game, and it was just, you know, it was those type of things. But then earlier in the game, I thought was key as well, because like you just said, Willie Jack, Philly went up 10-0 early, a field goal in the first drive, pick 6. And once that happened, I was like, "Oh, here go Dak." And
now it's going Dallas. Here we go. Yeah.
But then I think the game changed from the first moment when it was a 4th and 8, and Dallas went for it.
Yes, yeah, they did. Yeah.
Darius Slay got hit with that penalty, and to me, from that moment on, they kind of changed the rest of the game and changed the trajectory of the game. If we could be talking about a totally different game if he doesn't commit that penalty on that 4th and 8 and they stop him and it's turnover on downs, the Eagles get the ball right back and they're not getting stopped. Man, we could be talking about a different game here. You know what I'm saying? We could be talking about 17-0 in the first quarter, you know, and this game really getting out of hand, and Dallas having to change their game plan on offense. You know what I'm saying? So who knows what that turns into. And then you got the 3rd and 30. Like,
bro. I was gonna come back to that exactly.
That is why I say Philly. To me, Philly gave this game away. I don't think Dallas actually took it and won it. Now, granted, I give them credit for. I give Dallas credit for taking what they give them. If they give it to you, I'm gonna take it. You know what I'm saying? If they give you these turnovers and doing what they gonna do, hey, well, you gonna give us a good field position? Yeah, we're gonna continue to take that. But like, Philadelphia having that many mistakes and blunders in those key situations really, really hurt them. You know what I'm saying? And it just can't happen. You know, it just can't happen. On 3rd and 30, you cannot get behind let a wide receiver get behind your safety. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's one of the things I was gonna say as well, because I get what you're saying, because Philly definitely did shoot themselves in the foot a couple times in this game. Like my dog Jeff, man, day one game, Jarrell in the building as well, man. Shout out to day one game for sure. Both our Eagle fans in here, man. And so Jeff makes a good point though. Like I said, the turnovers, 4 turnovers. You got 2 interceptions, fumble by Sanders, fumble by Boston Scott as well. And so I mean that you can't overlook that at all. But the reason I want to say that I don't necessarily think that, like, I still think Dallas took this game because, like, outside of the Slate interference call, like, they had to legit go make them plays. Like, Dak takes a terrible sack. I think it was a sack. He takes a bad sack on that 2nd down, and now it's 3rd and 28. And then, like you said, the safety, the safety left that corner hanging out the drive. You know what I'm saying? Because he's playing in the trail technique because his safety's he's expecting that safety on the top. The safety's late, and that's why the safety gets there 2 steps after the ball does. Because like I say, I mean he's late getting over because he had that deep half, and so but they had to they had to go get that. Like that ain't no layup, that ain't no gimme. It wasn't like just a throw and you get a bailout call. Like they had to go take that one. And then the same thing with that TD with the CD Lamb touchdown at the deep left sideline. I think that was on a big 3rd down as well.
That was a drive. That was a drive after the 4th and 8 penalty. That was that same.
Okay, yeah, it was that. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. No, and that's fair. And like I said, because the Slate penalty was big, but it just still felt like they had to. I don't know. I don't want to take it all the way away from them and just say that Philly gave it away. Now here's what I did want to talk to you about, because I was in a group talking about this with a couple of the members. The closing moments of that game for Dak, and this is what I was talking about in the group. I was like, this is what I be saying when I say the difference between a tier 1 guy, a guy who we say is a dude.
I know what you're talking about too.
And everybody else. Dak Prescott. The Eagles. Gardner Minshew shouldn't have had to overthrow and open A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown had to step on all three Cowboys around him. And if Minshew isn't having to bail out and run because Micah Parsons is recovering and chasing him, and he gets that ball, he gets off a decent ball considering he was running for his life and gets one off, it's 3 yards too long. But if there's a little more touch on that ball, A.J. Brown may be able to make a play on that ball. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like I said, he was clear. He was literally clear of three Cowboys right there on that play. But they should have never had the ball. Dak Prescott had that ball. He had that game in his hand. He could have ended that game. Patty Mahomes is that game. That's why I tagged you and my dog, Nick. Nick, where you at, boy? So this is why it's like, y'all say I don't say nothing nice about patty cakes, man. Let me tell y'all. I have no doubt patty cakes ends that game. For one, when Dak scrambled and ran out of bounds.
That was terrible.
Bro, I sit there
game ain't over, bro. Game ain't over.
Bro, I'm like, Dak, you gotta be smarter than that. You've got to be smarter than that. That's inexcusable. That's inexcusable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a bonehead play if Zeke airhead ass do it. You know what I'm saying? And like, yeah, he's a veteran, but we'll still your quarterback can't do that. Like, nah, that's why you're the guy. Because you don't make that mistake. You're the guy on the team who doesn't make that mistake. You're the guy on the team who tells everybody else before we leave the huddle, stay in bounds. You're that guy. So you can't do that. And then you come back right after that, then you take an unnecessary sack. And I'm sitting there like, bro, what are you doing? You can put that ball in the third row. You're on the 8-yard line. You know, like you can't take that sack either. I hated it. And then the next play, he's scrambling. He's 1-on-1 with a no-name Eagles DB. Who was the guy that filled in for Maddox that Jeff was talking about? Who's the guy that filled in for Maddox that got cooked all day? Because I think that was the guy 1-on-1 with Dak on the 4-yard line. And I don't want to hear nothing else about it. Even Patty McCakes with his like awkward, I'm almost falling down juke. He gets by that dude, and if he don't, Big Josh runs through that boy's chest. That's a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Like that game could have been ended that series and that drive. You know what I'm saying? I just have no doubts. And Dak gave Philly another chance to win that game. And honestly, like I said, they made a pretty good run or pretty close to doing it. And so, but I definitely wanted to point that out. But that's why, like I said, like, man, hey, I can sub in Dak for Kirk Cousins. We wouldn't know it different. We can sub in Dak for a lot. You know what I'm saying? We are a lot of these guys, and that's what I'm talking about. Got you. Being a difference maker in those type of moments. And
I agree with you, Willie Jack. But to me, man, this game just showed a lot of holes that Dallas has and a lot of inconsistencies. And I don't see them getting past. They won't beat Philly again. I put it like that. And it don't matter who had the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Their offense was just fine with Gardner Minshew back there. You know what I'm saying? So. I seen a lot of holes with Dallas, man. Seen a lot of holes.
No, for sure. No, real quick, Jeff. I don't want to skip this because this is a very technical question, so I appreciate this, Jeff. He says Slay was off at 7. Is Tampa 2 over? Okay. And so Josiah Scott showed Bliss for what? But I don't know if he was like mentioning this, if he dropped this at a certain comment we was making, because if I want to know which, I don't know if you could help me out in the chest.
I'm wondering if he's talking about the 3rd and 30 play that was over, because I think that was Darius Slade. I think that was over Darius Slade. He was a corner in that situation. I think I'm wondering if he's talking about that.
And it very likely could have been. It probably, or I guess it probably was.
But here's the thing, and I'm watching the position of the safety, man. I'm watching the position of the safety. The safety wasn't over the top. And he was like, to me, I view that play is the play. The Raiders Rams when Baker Mayfield hit the game-winning touchdown pass on the left side. Now they were in 3. They were in 3, but the way that we viewed that call was like, no, you can't have that. You can't make that call. You can't be in 3 in that situation.
Wait. Was it 3 or was it press 1?
It could have been press 1.
I think it was press 1. Yeah.
You could be in 3, but you in that situation, you got to have some protection over the top. You say at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So to me, I felt like that was just a terrible call. And on the other side, for the Eagles, that was a terrible play. That was terrible. you know where you supposed to be on this play. You know what you can't give up. It's 3rd and 30, bro. This is not 3rd and 3. It's not 3rd and 7. You know what I'm saying? Where you may have to break in on an in breaking route or something like that. This guy has to run 30 yards down the field to get a first down.
Yeah.
There's no excuse if you get beat underneath. You know what I'm saying?
I can see if we get beat underneath so we can rally. We got 29 yards to rally.
I can see if it was a Donovan McNabb 4th and 22 where he buys time and he has to throw it on a rope just to get it. You know what I'm saying, to Freddie Mitchell at the 22-yard line.
And you can't cover for 6 seconds and all of that. Like, yeah, we was scrambling around. Like, no.
Yeah, I can get that. No, this is 3rd and 30, and he just Dak Prescott drops back.
It was a 5 stop. It was on time.
And throws a deep ball down the sideline, bro. Like, you, as a safety, you have to be on top of it. There's no excuse for that, to me. No excuse. And I know I'd have got chewed all the way out. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? What kind of football are you playing right now?
Exactly. The defense only works because you have to be there. Like,
that's right.
The call only works because you have to be there. Like, boom. Yeah. So yeah.
That's it, man.
Yeah. That's the whole goal of any style of kind of over-under coverage is that you have to make the quarterback make a perfect throw because you're bracketed on both sides. So he can't if he can't drop a dime in the sweet spot before, you know what I'm saying? But like, it wasn't like they hit a hole shot where the play intentionally gets there to beat the safety because the safety just in no man's lane. It's not a hole play. Like, no, that was 30 yards up the field. You got to be there. Like, you're like, yeah, like, so no, exactly.
Gotcha. All right, Willie Jack, man. That was the game of the week, man. We're going to keep on pushing, man. Let's get to this next game. And let's talk about Big Josh Allen, man. Big Josh Allen, Buffalo. They go to Chicago to take on the Bears, and they come away with this W on the road, winning this one 35-13. Willie Jack, you got to take on this one.
Yeah, man. So Big Josh in the game, get it done. Let me see. As far as the day went, man, 15 for 26, 172, 2 in the air, 2 interceptions as well, 6 for 41 on the ground, another touchdown. Big day running the ball. And this is what's so funny about this game as well. Because if I told you one of these teams showed up and rushed for over 200 yards in a dominating victory, like you'd have had to assume
you picked the Bears.
You'd have had to assume the Bears went crazy. You'd have had to assume the Bears went crazy. And no, not today. Devin Singletary, 12 for 106 and a touchdown. James Cook, 11 for 99 and a touchdown himself. And then, like I said, and then you've got the quarterback, Josh Allen, Big Josh, 6 for 41 and a touchdown as well. And so between the two of those guys, like I said, what's that? That's almost 250 between just the three of them. And then on the other side, and kudos to that Buffalo Bills defense, completely held Justin Fields in check. 15 for 23 for 119, a touchdown, no pick, average enough. That's more or less kind of in his wheelhouse. But 7 carries for 11 yards. I dare say
that's hard to do. That's got
to be his worst rushing performance of the season, I would imagine.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, you know, the way he's been literally tearing this league up with his legs, and so that's a very, very impressive performance by that defense for sure. Montgomery for the Bears side, 16 for 62. But all told, man, Buffalo is just doing what they got to do to stack wins and finish out this season with the number 1 pick cemented to lock in that bye week. And then honestly, man, as far as Big Josh goes, man, we haven't talked about it in a while, but I keep reminding myself as well because of course I want to see the guy, you know, the guy whose game I fell in love with, but I had to remind myself like he's got an elbow injury on his throwing arm. That was reported about probably around like week 4 or 5, or no, maybe it's closer to like 5 or 6 or 6 or 7. It was right around that Dolphins game, I think. And then the level of play before and after the elbow issue, it's been drastic. And so now obviously it's something he can play with and he's playing through and he's dealing with. But like I said, man, as we get to the final dance, and like I said, as some of these other teams that are really starting to kind of heat up and get themselves geared up, ready to go. I'm talking about the Chiefs. I'm talking about the Bengals. Like, man, now you need your general firing on all cylinders, man. So I'm hoping that Big Josh and those guys, man, that he able to get it together for when the real, you know, when the lights come on. So yeah, kind of waiting to see how that plays out for him.
I got you. Well, Willie Jack, I actually love the style of play that I'm seeing from the Bills now, because it's Josh Allen that's not being a young Kobe, like we talked about. the Bills look like when Josh Allen is playing, the Bills look like it's young Kobe playing, a young guy eager to put up 35 points when you don't necessarily need to, when you got a lot of talent around you, when you got Shaq down there in the post, when you got Derek Fisher in the corner. You know what I mean? You don't need to go in and put up 35. And that was the type of game that they played in this particular game. You know, Josh Allen didn't put up like crazy numbers. He didn't go crazy. He had a solid game, and he allowed some of the playmakers around him to do what they need to do to help win this game, which is why you can go out and rush for as many yards as they rush for in this particular game and take care of business. The crazy part is Chicago did start this game off, and they were up in this game 10-6 at halftime, and it wasn't until the second half where the Bills kind of turned it on, and they really started to wear this Chicago team down. But you see the Bills, like you said, ran for 254 yards this game. That's a good game. It's a great game, and I like to see that because I actually think they can go further in the playoffs with this type of play than they would with the other type. Because all you need, like, I'm not saying Josh Allen needs to throw for 172 yards. He's gonna have to, it's gonna be some instances where he needs to throw for more than 172 yards. He's gonna have to throw for 250 or whatever. But as long as he has that help with him, it'll allow him to just let the game come to you a little bit more. You know what I mean? Go, instead of going out there and scoring 35, go get 28 and give me some extra assists, some extra rebounds, you know, some extra things like that. You know what I'm saying? So as long as Josh Allen is able to do those things, Willie Jack, then I think that this Bills team is going to be fine. And their defense is still playing pretty good ball too. I know they hurt without Von Miller, being their closer, but the defense is still playing well. And if they continue to play like this, man, we might be talking about them finishing as the number 1 overall seed in the AFC, man. So shout out to the Bills.
No, for sure.
Gotcha. On to the next one, Willie Jack. We got the New Orleans Saints. They go to Cleveland in the cold, windy, wet game to take on the Browns. And New Orleans ends up coming away with this W, man. They end up coming away with it. I think me and you both, Willie Jack, we talked about it. We was like, man, a lot of passes in this game. If it's gonna be a lot of running, then you know we going with Chubb, man. Having to tackle Chubb that many times in the game.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what I thought was gonna happen. I thought that was gonna be a tough task for New Orleans, but they came in and they was ready, and they had a little bit of running game on their own, and that they actually rolled on. It was a combination of Kamara and Taysom Hill, you know, and those type of guys that actually came in and got the job done. And if I'm not mistaken, Willie Jack,
what's up?
I think me and you had a 10 push-up bet, man.
Did we?
I think me and you had a 10 push-up bet, man. And I think it was something along the lines of Will Alvin Kamara.
Oh, man, hey, I completely forgot.
He rushed for over 50 yards in this game.
Oh, man, you sure right, bro. You sure right. Hey, man, I ain't gonna lie. I completely forgot about that one.
And the boy rushed for 76.
76 yards.
76 yards, man. But actually, it was a pretty solid game for Alvin Kamara. He came up big in key situations, key third downs. And as I said, Willie Jack, man, the guy's still a weapon, man. He's still a weapon. His numbers, you know, may not be the same. You know, he's not putting up a ton of numbers week in and week out, but he's a guy, man. You like I said, you got a game plan for him.
Bro, look here, man. We're not gonna sit here and re-justify this poor ass season he didn't have because he went 76 yards on 20 carries.
That's not what we do.
You don't get no copy. You don't get no accreditation as he's still a weapon. He ain't surprised us for 20 for 132. 20 for 76. Hey, the boy's still a weapon, big dog. Hey, man. 3 yards of carry, man. Hey, y'all better chill out now. He's dynamic. Man, get out of here, man. I got your 10, though. I do got your 10 because I did forget about that. But
I tell you what, Willie Jack, as a defensive coordinator, you ain't going into this game making sure you ain't got multiple eyes on him. I guarantee you that.
I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. Like he's down that list. So like if I'm a defensive coordinator and I'm like ranking most like dangerous backs, like bro, I'm not staying up at night worried about Kamara no more because Sean Payton's not in the lab cooking up for him. You know what I'm saying? Like from what I've seen this season, bro. What's I wonder? I'm curious to know what his stat production is this year, and what's Dante Foreman done with the Panthers, or what's Brian Robinson done with the Commanders? You know what I'm saying?
But the stats don't tell the whole story though, Willie Jack.
No, but it don't. But what I'm saying is, if we're talking about how viable you are as a weapon, like bro, if a receiver ain't went for over, let's say if a receiver no longer can crack 80 yards, then I'm not gonna stay up all night worrying about him giving me 150. If he like, you know what I'm saying, like it's just not gonna happen, bro.
DeAndre Hopkins ain't went for 100 yards in about 3 or 4 weeks in a row.
No, that's not true. DeAndre Hopkins been cooking. He been cooking all year. So he got that.
No, he hasn't.
Yes, bro. He's had like one off game because they didn't give him the ball, but he's been cooking. He's got like 750 yards in 6 games. Or no, like 700 yards in 7 games. This last game he only had 1 catch. But run his numbers before this last game where he had 1 catch. He hasn't had
100 yards. Bro, he hasn't had I'm telling you, dog.
No, hold on, but you miss what I'm saying. You miss what I'm saying.
Okay.
DeAndre Hopkins, when we watch him on the field, what we say when he first came back. Now, that first game he did have like 10 for 100, but he still looks to be a dominant tier 1 receiver. You know what I'm saying? Period. Kamara doesn't look to be. Kamara's not Tony Pollard right now. He's not. You know what I'm saying? He's not Tony. He doesn't look to be in that first group anymore. You know what I'm saying? Now, maybe he's young. I'm not saying he can't get back there, but him on his own, because this is the only sample size we've seen him without Sean Payton. Now, I'm not saying that's not a big loss, but what I'm saying is you shouldn't go from A tier to C tier. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't no way.
But he not going A to C tier. That's
you don't
that's
think
what I'm
he's
trying
C
to tell
tier
you.
Right now?
He not, man. He not, man. The guy is still dangerous with the ball in his hand. I don't care what you're talking about.
Is he top 10 right now, Chop? No, I know he's not top 10. I know he's not top 10.
You talking about production?
I'm talking about right now, running backs right now in this league. If you're going to name me the 10 best running backs in the league right now today, we talk right now, he's not in that top 10.
It ain't 10 better. It ain't 10 better. It ain't. Willie Jack, so you mean to tell me, regardless of the situation, because right now what you're telling me is situations don't matter. That's what you're telling me. You saying situations don't matter.
You know what? Hey, Chop, check this out. Check this out, right?
Okay.
Why am I trying to defend 2019 Kamara in 2022?
What are you? That's not the point.
Because I don't want to defend his past. I'm talking about what he's giving us right now this season in 11 games. It's been average.
No, but what I'm saying is what he's putting on the field is not terrible. This is not Russell Wilson 2019 and Russell Wilson 2022. This is not what we're looking at. You know what I'm saying? We can visibly see Russell Wilson playing bad. What we see from Alvin Kamara is not the same opportunities, not the same holes, not the same. Like when you got everything stacked against you, bro, it ain't the same. Like when the situation is not the same, you're not gonna have the same production. You know what I'm saying?
Chop, I'm glad you're saying this, Chop. I'm glad you're saying this because this is the same thing I say about quarterbacks. If you're a guy, then don't tell me your success is hamstrung by something like if you're a guy, like you're, and now. Well, this isn't going to be a fair example.
It's a different.
They're completely different styles of running backs. I was going to give an example, but that's not going to be fair because they're completely different styles.
Okay, I give you an example. Le'Veon Bell.
Okay. No, good. When we saw Le'Veon Bell with the Jets, we no longer have to treat him like he was with the Steelers because that's not who he was post Steelers. You see what I'm saying? He was not. Well, and I'm not saying he couldn't have been that guy, but.
Willie Jack, me and you both sat up there and watched him the first few games of the season and said, "Hey, that's Le'Veon Bell." But the situation around him wasn't the same. The situation wasn't the same. So you're not gonna have the same production. You're a running back. Running backs is not like quarterback. If I'm a quarterback and I'm that guy, bro, you can put Patrick Mahomes on all 32 teams, and Patrick Mahomes is gonna be Patrick Mahomes. You put Kirk Cousins on all 32 teams, he's gonna be really good for like half of the teams, and the other half of the teams, he's going to be terrible because of the situations he's going to be in. You know what I'm saying?
No, I did what you said. No, I guess, okay, I'm not discrediting that. I didn't expect that team and that offense to look the same without Sean Payton. So I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is his dynamicism as a player is non-existent right now because he doesn't have the guy who could put him in the positions to be magical. So I haven't seen any magic because it's starting to look like he doesn't create his own magic and that he's special in a special circumstance. And that's a talent as well, because you still have to, you know what I'm saying? Like Kobe's not great because he takes a shot. Kobe's great because if we let him take enough, he's going to make them. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not discrediting. You still have to be good enough to execute when we draw it up. Like sure. Debo is so good with Kyle Shanahan because he can execute what Kyle Shanahan draws up. So you do have to kind of fit and match each other. I'm not saying that. There's a part of that. But what I'm saying is, when you're perceived or anticipated at being at a certain level, then I'm saying your floor, you don't get to have an average floor. Not if you're a guy who we call special. Like your average can't be the same as Brian Robinson average. Your average needs to be, you need to fall here. You can't fall down here. That's my point.
Okay. So I see where
you know what I'm saying?
I think I figured out what you're saying. Your expectations is special. That's what they're
right. No, because we said he was special though, right? Like
I said he's a weapon. I say he's a weapon.
No, Chop, hold on, slow down. But so we didn't slow down though. I'm talking about categorically before this year. We didn't consider Alvin Kamara to be a special dynamic running back.
He's a dynamic running back, but he never was one of the best. He never was one of the.
Chop, you were higher on Kamara than me.
Yeah, because I told you he's better than Adrian Peterson.
You go through 18 months of videos.
Come on.
You're going to let me go through 18 months of videos because now you say you never considered Alvin Kamara one of the best.
Well, check me out, Willie Jack. Hear me out. And
you never had him. You didn't consider him top 5? We did a running back ranking this summer. I know he was in your top 5. And I think that's even coming into this season with all the question marks. He didn't even make my 10, remember? So you had to think he was special. Come on, man.
But production went into what we talked about, Willie Jack. Production went into that. Check me out. Check me out here, Willie Jack. Nick Chubb. How long, man, you been talking about Nick Chubb?
Man, since he came out of Georgia.
And we both
yeah. But
and we both felt like he was pretty much one of the best in the business, regardless of the number of carries he was getting or production or whatever, right?
No. His production in spite of opportunity. That's one of the big things that drew us both to him. So we're getting 100 less carries on the season than another starter. He's still got 100 more yards than that guy. See, that's the difference. You see what I'm saying?
Nah, that ain't where I was.
Because in the example you was just gonna say,
that was right. You're absolutely right in that. But what drew me to him is just carry by carry, watching him as he breaks tackles, as the way he runs. Forget the yards. We knew who was at the top of the yard. We had Derrick Henry leading the league, Jonathan Taylor. All those guys. Those were the guys that were up there. But it was carry for carry that made both of us say, "Oh, he's the best." He runs the ball better than anybody in the league because we watched him down for down. You know what I'm saying?
But he always maintained his production though. So he was always amongst the league leaders in rushing. And then when you dive deeper into the stats, you realize he's got 80 carries less than some of these guys that he's right there in the mix for. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying if Alvin Kamara could have been had a bad year, but you know what a down year should look like? At this point, because what are they 12 games into the season?
What's that down year look like?
They 12 games to the season. He's not good for 100 all-purpose yards a game. I shouldn't expect 1,200 all-purpose yards in 12 games played. Because he ain't got 1,200 in 12 games played, bro. He ain't gave me 100 yards combined in 12 games played.
He's got 1190 something though.
Hey, it ain't 1,200. But here's the thing about that, Chop. But check this out though, Chop, because that's a very minimal standard. That balances out to 50 rushing and 50 passing. He's not good for 50 and 50. No. And you know what? If you a guy, why am I even asking you for 50 and 50? If you a guy, how come I still can't get 75 and 50? You know what I'm saying? How come I still don't tell me you can't give me if I ask you for 100, and he's just short, he's just a day late and $1 short, he's short. If it costs 1,200, he ain't got enough. So that's what I'm saying, bro. He didn't fit. Hey, I'm telling you, I'm not saying he's still not capable, but I'm saying he's not. I don't have to single him out. Like when I don't have to. We're gonna take care of him. I'm not saying you ignore him. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying Derrick Henry's not coming to town, and he's a different type of runner. But I'm saying like, I mean, never mind. You know what I mean? He's a different style of runner there. But what I'm saying is like, no, he's not a guy making you stay up ways to how we're going to contain him this week. That's not what he's been this year.
I heard you.
That's not what he's been this year, bro.
I
Not when you
see
can't give
something
me
different
100
when
off.
I
You
see
can't
him
give me
play. I
100
see something
a
different,
game. Come
dog.
on, man.
I
There's
see something
nobody.
different when I see him play, dog.
Because what we say for like the first 6 weeks, we were like, who's the ball going to on New Orleans? Because they ain't got nobody out there. How does Kamara not? How's Kamara? Like, where's the ball?
Because obviously he ain't that guy, man. He's not a guy that's gonna get you 30 touches a game. He's never been that guy. He's never
I'm not
30
saying.
touches a game.
I'm not. Well, if you said touches, no, he has been that guy for talking touches because
30. No, he never was a 30 touch a game guy.
Well, hold on. Let's stop that. Nobody's a 30 touch guy no more. There's 3 30 touch guys in this league. You know what I'm saying? But nobody offenses aren't giving you 30 touches. So let's say instead 25 because that's a more attainable number.
He was also always more like 20, 15 to 20 touches a game. That's what he got,
bro.
That's what he got, bro.
All his career. I can't believe how hard you are backtracking on your Alvin Kamara take right now. I'm gonna do the work, bro. 18 months of videos. I'm going to find you, bro. I'm going to find it because we done talked about Kamara before. You was definitely way higher on Kamara than this, bro. Hell no.
What I specifically told you was Kamara is still a weapon. Is he top 5 this year? No, he's not top 5 this year. You know what I'm saying?
No, that wasn't even my question because that's obvious. He's not top 10 this year. He's not top 10 this year, Chop.
It ain't.
Tell me the 10 backs. Who are you taking out the top 10 that he's going to be there? Because he's not top 10 this year, bro. Now when he can't give me 100 combined yards a game in 12 games on a team without weapons besides him and a rookie Chris Olave. Come on, man.
But you know the way he used is different though, Willie J. You know he ain't use the same.
No, that's beneficial. He use the same.
Like you can say that for a guy like a Christian McCaffrey or a
bro. That's the perfect example for him. Because they skill sets are probably two of the more similar skill sets in the league. Except I've always thought that Christian McCaffrey was a better pure runner. But what I was gonna say is, excuse me. Oh, I done lost my point just that fast. I lost my point. You got lucky too.
We've been on this for a minute.
I had one for you. You got lucky.
Hey man, we've been on this for a minute, but we'll have some time to break them down. I can break down this full game to you, bro. But on to the next game, man. We had Houston. Woo! They go to Tennessee to take on the Titans, and they upset them boys, winning 19-14. And Willie Jack, you called this one, man. You called it. I had to talk you into it because you were scared at first, man. I'm gonna put that out there.
It was in Tennessee. It really was that's the whole thing that made me know because it was in Tennessee. I was really feeling that Houston was gonna show up and play ball, and it was the perfect storm because Malik Willis was starting, of course. Yeah. And it was just like I said, just the way that, especially that defense as well. So it was just a perfect storm for an upset. But being on the road at Tennessee, and then Derrick Henry just owns the AFC South, and we see it again. What do you have? 23 for 126, a touchdown. Now he did have a big fumble loss in this game as well.
That's 3 straight games, man. That's 3 straight games, crucial fumbles. You know what I'm saying? You can't have that. You can't have that. But I'll jump into that in a minute, man. Go ahead.
No, for sure. And then, matter of fact, let me go ahead and get your way. Then Malik Willis, man, same thing, kind of like we said with the Chiefs. It's completely inept as far as the pass game. 14 for 23, 99 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 7 for 43 rushing. Did score his first touchdown in the league on a scrambling play, or it might have been a quarterback design play. Gets in the end zone, but he also too lost another fumble in this game as well. And then on Houston side, Davis Mills 17 for 28 for 178, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. That defense definitely stayed after and made plays all day. 4 sacks on the day, 2 interceptions. And then here's another thing about that I want to point out as well. I mentioned time of possession. This one is the one that jumped out to me. So the time of possession in this game, Tennessee, I guess, had the roughly like almost like 180 rushing yards, so shy of 200 rushing yards, right? Which is going to be like their recipe for success because Houston didn't have a great. I mean, they didn't do anything great offensively necessarily, but against the road that the turnovers played. But just like I say, just breaking those trends, like the dominant team running ball, time possession, those type of things. But Houston went out there, man, got that win. The collapse of Tennessee. Definitely looks like they're going to fall out that playoff spot. Jacksonville, I think, needs one more win to cement that division. I think one more win for them, one more loss for Tennessee. I think if one more win for them, one more loss for Tennessee.
This week actually don't matter. Jacksonville and Tennessee play week 18. Whoever wins that wins the division.
That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought so.
They both at 7 wins right now.
Yeah.
Right? They both at 7 wins. Tennessee plays Thursday night against Dallas.
Yeah.
which most likely, well, we'll see. We'll talk about that in a minute. But they play Thursday night against Dallas. If they lose, they 7-9 at that point. They 7-9, and
Okay.
if Jacksonville wins, they just go to 8 wins. So when they come around and play each other in Week 18, they could have a
Okay. Yeah.
record, but if Tennessee beats them,
Nah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
they get that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
that's kind of how that's gonna play out. So this
I guess
week doesn't matter, which is why.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff when we get to that game, but
no, I got you. My fault. I was thinking that Jacksonville had one more win than they did, so I thought that they was already. Yeah, that's what. Okay.
No, that one, the one win that they had on Thursday night and the loss by Tennessee, that put them in first place in the division.
Gotcha.
All the marbles are on Week 18 now for those two teams. So the winner that wins the division, and the loser most likely will be out of the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So that's a playoff game in itself, right there. So we'll see how that plays. But you still wrapping it up. My fault, Willie Jack.
Oh no, for sure. No, that's. I mean, yeah, ain't nothing else to talk about. Like I said, Houston had nothing worth talking about. Like I said, I already shot out their defense, 4 sacks and 2 picks. But yeah, no, did what they had to do to get this win, man. They still, they should be comfortable now. I think in that number 1 pick spot, and so I think they're 2 wins now on the season, 2 wins and 1 draw. I think is their record. And honestly, who's the next worst team in the league this year? I think everybody's got at least 4 wins. And so I think they got a comfortable margin on that number 1 pick to close out the season. So they don't have any worries of maybe tricking it off here down the road by trying to get too cute, winning too many games.
Yeah, Chicago is probably right after that. They got 3.
They got 3. Okay. Oh, well, no, there you go. Yeah, well, and that's the thing, too. They're not in the quarterback market. And honestly, I think their roster is desperate enough. They're not passing up.
Yeah, so Houston is fine. Houston will be just fine.
Yeah, so they got Bryce Young regardless of what that sounds like.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, Willie Jack. And my take on this game, man, Houston, like we just said, man, they've been playing feisty the last few weeks, and they finally come out on the winning side of one of these games where it came down to a close situation. They took Kansas City to overtime. It took Kansas City in overtime to come away with the W in that game.
Yeah.
But they come away with this one here. And this is the thing for Tennessee, man. Well, of course, we know they're going to get the ball to Derrick Henry early, often throughout this entire game. They're going to keep running Derrick Henry. But this is what you start to see when you don't have the other pieces in place to be successful. If you're going to be a run-heavy team, you have to have a good defense, and you also have to have a quarterback that can make those key third down conversions, those 3rd and 4s, the simple conversions, which Tannehill is able to come in and do. You also have to have another weapon. But you know what happened, Willie Jack? What they doing all season?
They sent them to Philly for a bag of Skittles.
They sent them over to Philly, man. So now they don't have another weapon. So now it's all on Derrick Henry. But this is what happens, like I said, when you rely on one specific guy and three straight games, three fumbles in 3 straight games. You run the guy out, you running them into the ground. If I'm Derrick Henry, man, I ain't coming on that field unless y'all pay me. I'm not coming back. Y'all need to pay me. I'm holding out.
Well, I think he didn't. They he had signed, I think, like 3 years ago, but I think they did re-up.
I need some money
around.
I need some more.
No, I ain't gonna lie. No, if I'm gonna stay on that team without Derek Brown and the way we looking, I definitely need some more bread. That's the show. It's time to renegotiate.
I need some more because y'all relying on me. You got a quarterback where he's a backup in a sense, but you got this quarterback who can't complete a pass. Just over 50% completion percentage. What y'all expect me to do? Y'all relying on me. So in my case ain't like the rest of these running backs in the league where some of them are replaceable. I'm not replaceable. You ain't just putting anybody in here and just running it up like that, and relying on me to win. If y'all gonna rely on me and run everything through me, I need run everything through me money.
Well, his thing about that too, but just like you said, he's had 3 big fumbles that probably played a big part of these 3 losses as well. So his play also hurts his same argument because, we need you, and when we try to turn on you, you cough up the church's money. And so they got a good county there. But then the other thing about that as well is I don't really know how big a market is for Derrick Henry if he realistically leaves his market as far as big money concerned, because he's got to be approaching 30 now. He's got to be 28. If I had to guess, he's got somewhere. If I had to guess, I think he's somewhere around 28. So I know he's still got a couple years before he hits 30. But I feel like Derrick Henry's a guy that, just like you said, there's a lot of tread that's worn off those tires. Or no, I don't want to say it like that because he's still running like a madman a lot of the time. But just
he's 28, by the way, Willie Jack. He's 28.
Okay, so he is 28. Okay, yeah, and so he's already approaching 30, which may as well get tattooed 666 on your forehead when you turn 30 if you're an NFL running back. Like you said, you might as well like have a sign that says I have COVID. Like you understand, it's this like nobody wants you around when you turn 30 and you're a running back in NFL. And so I don't necessarily know there's no big money waiting for him to go somewhere else. Now there'll be teams that could definitely bring him in and that would use him, but he's making, I think the contract he signed when he did sign with Tennessee, and it was honestly, I thought it was a very team friendly deal when he signed it. It was a $12.5 million a year. And so, and this was after the Zeke Elliott contract, and I think after the C-Mac contract. And so this is one of the rarer instances that we see where a contract goes backwards, because normally the next guy up sets the market. You know what I mean? And so he came in several million below those guys at 6. I think those guys are both closer to 16 and a half, and then McCaffrey might have got 17, but he came in at 12 and a half. And so now that was at 25. You know what I'm saying? I think it was after his first breakout year because he was a second round pick. So he didn't have a 5th-year option. And so it took him a little while to get going. But I say all that to say is I just don't know realistically. I don't know if there's a $10 million contract out there waiting for him. Even though he's going to have a lot of options, I don't know if there's $10 million waiting for him, though.
And you know what, Willie? That's totally fine. But what my play would be, it would be deeper than that. It's like, all right, if y'all gonna keep using me like that, y'all need to pay me. If y'all don't, okay, cool. I can go and I'll take a little, not less than what I'm making, but I'll take my same contract with a contender. That's not gonna run me 30, run me into the ground with a team that got more weapons.
This is what you're missing out. First off, Derrick Henry doesn't offer you anything. Derrick Henry's valuable because he turns into something. Derrick Henry, he needs 25 carries to maximize what he is for you. He's not a guy. He's not a guy you bring in somewhere, especially if you think he's going to come in for the same. Ain't nobody bringing him. He's at 12 and a half now. I don't think he's going to sign for 10. So he's not going to get more money anywhere else. And if you a contender means we have leverage because we don't necessarily need you because we're a contender right now. And the margin of difference between all the positions across the league, that margin is closest at running back. That's why you can find so many guys later in rounds that undrafted and guys like Dante Foreman pop up and have a renaissance. And he was you know what I mean? Like it is, and I hate saying this because I love the running back position, but the league will find another like Derrick Henry production wise before like Derrick Henry goes out and finds another $10 million contract as a 28-year-old running back who's had like 400 carry seasons. He's had 2,000 yards. He's had a big injury just that he came back from. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's just not big money out there for him, honestly. Like, and what you're talking about, what it sounds like to me is what happened with us and Le'Veon. And then, like I said, we just talked about it. We see how that played out for Le'Veon. Sometimes both sides need each other to be the best versions of each other. You know what I'm saying? Because Derrick Henry in an offense that isn't committed to pounding him 25 times a game, who is he? Because he's not a weapon out the backfield. They force him screens because if he can get 6 yards of steam going, then he could take off. But other than that, he offers nothing in the pass game. He's not a tremendous pass blocker. And now, as he's getting older and more injury, now he's fumbling the ball. Like, bruh.
Yeah, you
hey, that's a rough outlook.
Anybody's gonna start fumbling the ball. You giving it to him 30 times. You rely.
If that's his example, is man, I'm fumbling because y'all give me the ball too many times. We need a different running back. That's I will never take an excuse. I'm fumbling because you give me the ball too much. That's your job.
It's not that, Willie Jack. But what I'm saying is, if you go season after season after season, and I'm gonna give you all these carries for 400 carries every single year. Chop. Every single year,
Chop.
You think at some point
stop everything you said. We play ball. No coach is gonna accept any excuse for fumbling.
No. I'm not saying that should be his excuse. No, if I'm a player, if I'm him, yeah, I'm not. That's not my excuse. I'm like, yeah, I should have hit onto the ball. You're right. You're absolutely right.
There we go. There's no excuse for fumbling.
But what I'm saying, I'm talking about from an outside looking in. Look, bro, that is you telling me. That is your only option. That's it. That's the only way y'all gonna win a game is relying on Derrick Henry. That's it. Relying on one specific person. You need to do something with that team then. Bruh, that's my point.
No, bro. No, this is what we said. we can go out and find another viable running back. Now, maybe he's not 2K Derrick Henry.
You're not gonna find no other Derrick Henry, bro.
No, you miss what I'm saying. It may not be Derrick Henry, but they need a running back who can take 25 carries. Dante Foreman looked like a Pro Bowl when he came in and filled in for him in Tennessee. That's why he's the starting guy in Carolina now. Look how he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So like, the league will find another productive back. They can draft Derrick Henry's replacement this April in the 5th round. And that dude may very well be a 1,400-yard back. We don't know his name. You know what I'm saying? Arian Foster, your boy, he went the 5th round for Tennessee. 5th or 6th round, if I remember right. You know what I'm saying? We'll find another Derrick Henry. Those are the facts. The league is taught, and I'm saying that in generalities as far as the league's mindset, because I'm not trying to throw Derrick Henry away. So I'm speaking league-wise, right? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say. So the league has told us that the league believes and the league functions, we'll find another Derrick Henry. The league has told us we'll find another Peyton Manning. They let Peyton Manning. You know
somebody's gonna pick up Derrick. Somebody's gonna pick up. Go put me alongside Jacksonville. Go put me alongside Travis Etienne.
Jacksonville don't want him. They got a young Travis Etienne who's coming on. They don't need him.
Go put me alongside. Go put me alongside him in Jacksonville. Put me alongside Alvin Kamara in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? There's spots out there. There's spots.
No. Why want him? Neither one of those teams want him. Not if Kamara is the guy that you used to feel like he is, then they don't need him. They don't want him. If Etienne is who he is, he has no value in Jacksonville because they don't need a goal line back. They need a back that can be a weapon and a safety blanket for Lawrence, and a guy who could be dynamic and give something add to that game. He doesn't fit in Jacksonville. He belongs where he's at. He needs Tennessee. He needs Cleveland. Cleveland doesn't need him. You know what I'm saying? He needs San Francisco. But see, now San Francisco doesn't need him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got a very specific skill set because most offenses don't operate the way that he needs to operate to be successful. I just don't think he has as much leverage.
I guess we look at it different because I don't think he needs to operate specifically in that way to be successful.
He is a below average receiving back. You lose the offense, like I don't want to sound like I'm knocking, but I'm saying like the offense, the third down offense isn't optimal if he's the back end and we need him to be a participant in the passing game. Like I said, like he's replaceable. Like, he's not a difference maker in that instance. You know what I'm saying? He's a nose tackle. He's good for 2 downs. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying he doesn't break runs on third down. That's not what I'm saying, Chop. I'm not going to say, man, he's got a highlight of an 80-yard third down run. That's not what I'm saying. I wasn't going to say that. His skill set isn't conducive to the things that we want and need for 80% of the running backs in this league. Because these days it's more about 12 catches at the backfield. It's more valuable to be able to guarantee me. It's more valuable to be able to produce on 18 carries and 8 receptions. That's more valuable in a running back than a guy who can produce on 26 carries. Teams prefer 18 and 8. There's only 3-4 teams in the league that want 26 carries from their back, bro. Think about it. You know I'm right. Come on, man.
It's only one back that can get, or actually 2 or 3 backs that can take that. They can take that a game.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, because it's not something guys aren't coming to the league. The players evolve with the league. Players don't worry about dunking from the free throw line no more. Now who can shoot from half court? So players coming into the league aren't coming. Guys don't want to be 235 anymore when they get to the league. Because now you're a dinosaur. Nobody wants to be 235 so you can take 30 carries because nobody's getting 30 carries. Guys want to be 212. You know what I'm saying? Guys want to be shifty. Guys want to be able to, you know what I'm saying? That's the market for the league right now, bro.
No, I hear you. I heard that. But Derrick Henry is still special, man. That's a special guy. Hey, teams want special. I don't care how it look. If you special, teams want that.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, bro, like I'm just saying, bro, he's a specific flavor. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't drive Ferrari, just like everybody can't drive a Humvee either. You know what I'm saying?
No, I heard that too. Yeah. I heard you. All right, Willie J. There you go. All right, on to the next one, man. Because
Oh, yo, hey, we got to pick up steam. Yeah, we're going to fly now. Let's get
it up. We're about to pick it up here a little bit, man. Let's go to this game. Seattle, they go to Kansas City, and Kansas City takes care of business, man, and they win this game 24-10. And I'll start this one off, Willie Jack. And I think KC heard Willie Jack, man, and especially when they started the game off, because they picked up a little bit. They started off strong, but they slowed up. They slowed down a little bit. And it was partly because Seattle kind of controlled the time of possession.
They really did.
Running the ball very well. They had the ball for over 35 minutes in this game to Kansas City's 24. But it doesn't matter if you're not doing them with the rock. They had the ball 35 minutes, but they wouldn't punching it in. They wasn't doing what they needed to do to put up points on the board. You know what I'm saying? So that's what hurt them in this particular game, because when KC had the ball, they were able to do that. It wasn't an outrageous game by Patrick Mahomes. He didn't put up crazy numbers, but they were efficient with what they did. Move the ball. Of course, him and his main guy, his main weapon, as we know, Travis Kelce, they were able to do their thing, but KC was slowly and methodically. They just took care of this game, man. And on the other side of this, Seattle, they're in trouble, man. They're in trouble. It's not just them and another team and one or two other teams now. It's 4 or 5 teams all playing for the same playoff spot. All playing for the same playoff spot. So Seattle better get it together, man, or it's gonna be rough for them. It's gonna be rough.
And honestly, this is gonna be a tall order, man. Playing Kansas City, period. Anyway, playing Kansas City anywhere is gonna be a tall order, and then playing Kansas City in Kansas City, and playing Kansas City who's motivated because
in 1 degree weather, in
1 degree weather, man. So like that was gonna be a tall order, but just like you said, man, Kenneth Walker III, 26 for 107. They controlled it, like I said, running games going. They controlled the time of possession, but they didn't cash in. Geno, 215, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Now the interception, it occurred like maybe in the end zone or maybe on like the 2-yard line. It was a miscommunication. It looked to be like a miscommunication. Like, was it DK? I can't remember who it was, but Geno threw it to a spot, and the guy broke off or didn't go to the spot. So there was an interception there that maybe took points off the board. But just all like you said, man. Patty and those boys, a well-oiled machine, capitalized on their opportunities. Only had 20 minutes in this game and scored 24 points. All three touchdowns coming from Patty, 2 in the air, 1 on the ground. And so, like I said, small, conservative day as far as the score, but they only had the ball 20 minutes. They had the ball for 12 more minutes in this game. It's probably another 8 points on the board. You know what I mean? So, but now, like I said, do what they got to do, and they keep the pressure right there on Buffalo's heels as well. Like I said, waiting to pounce at the number 1 spot. I think they're only 1 game back of Buffalo. Yeah. Wait, am I tripping? Yeah, they're only 1 game back of Buffalo. Buffalo hasn't locked up the number 1 seed, I don't believe. Or am I tripping?
It's not like they actually got the same record, but Buffalo.
Oh, okay, Buffalo has the top. Yeah.
They had a tiebreaker. So right now, the Buffalo still holds the number 1 seed.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, so exactly. So Kansas City and Buffalo both still got something to play for. So Kansas City doing what they got to do, stacking wins. Like I said, keeping that pressure on Buffalo to hold out.
For sure. Well, Jack, on to the next one, man. And after this one, we'll go ahead and pay some bills, man. But let's go to another game, man, that turned out to be a really, really good game, man. We had the New York Giants go to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Vikings end up winning this game 27-24. Willie Jack, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, man. So let's go through the numbers. Kirk Cousins, man, 34 for 48, 299, 3 touchdowns, no pick. Dalvin Cook, 14 for 64. Justin Jefferson. Everybody at home, feel free to say it with me. The coldest in the game, man. It's just like it's just go ahead and say it out loud, Chopper. You'll feel better. Go ahead and let it out. Like, man, hey, look, I ain't gonna lie, man. That boy Willie tried to tell me. That boy Jetta's got it, man. He the truth. You can go ahead and say it's cool.
Hey, Justin Jefferson is the truth. He's the truth.
Hey, man, that's all right. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. 12 for 133 and a touchdown. With his first catch of that game, he set the Minnesota Vikings all-time single-season receiving yards mark and single-season catching mark, I think, as well, they may have said. The yard mark broke Randy Moss's record. The catches, I don't know if that was Moss or if that would have been Chris Carter, but I think he also has the single-season
I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that one.
I believe. I could be wrong there. I thought I heard that mentioned as well. And then who else do I want to highlight here? Oh, and then TJ Hockenson had a big day. 13 catches, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. So huge day for him. And this is the thing, too, like, that was all the damage. Kirk just took times punishing the Giants with either Justin Jefferson or T.J. Hockenson. He just went back and forth between the two of them for 4 quarters and couldn't nothing get done about it. One had 12 catches, one had 13 catches. So, and then one had 133 yards, the other had 109 yards. So 85% of his completions, yardage and catches went to 2 guys. Like I said, they just had no answer for him. And then on the other side with the Giants, Daniel Jones, 30 for 42, 334, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Saquon, 14 for 84, with a touchdown. Now, the touchdown came on a 4th and 2 at the end of the game, where he pops a hole, scampers in.
His only carry of that entire drive. His only carry of that entire drive. Only one, bro.
Hey, he scored
a 25-yard touchdown?
Yeah, 27. He scored, bro. What else you want him to do? He scored on it, bro.
Go ahead, bro. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it. Yeah, he scored, but come on, man. 14 carries. Before that, so that probably took his average up to maybe 5-6 yards a carry.
Yeah, that definitely, before that, without that one run,
he was 4.5 yards a carry.
Yeah, he has 13. Well, I'm gonna give it to you the numbers. So without that one carry, he's got he finishes 13 for 57 yards. And so that's like 4. That's 4. No, that's like 4.2. It's 4.5. Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah, and so, but honestly, his thing, Danny Dimes and the passing game was they were getting things done in that passing game. They really was. I mean, he didn't have the touchdowns, but 30 for 42, 75% completion, or just under 75% completion, over 300 yards, 334 yards. And like I said, now the turnovers, I mean, he did have an interception, but just 1 and 1. But honestly, I mean, the passing game was going. You had decent days for some of these guys. I'm not going to pretend like I know these guys, but Isaiah Hodgins, 8 for 89 and a touchdown. Richie James, I have seen him. I feel like the last 5-6 weeks, he's been kind of being more and more of a guy who's being used more by Daniel Jones, but 8 for 90 for him. So the passing game was going, and they were right there. Like I said, obviously right there in that game. This game goes back and forth to the wire. Justin Jefferson gets, I think, the late touchdown to tie it, and then Vikings end up getting a stop, and then as with 4 seconds left, they've got to kick Justin Tucker field goal, and then he smokes it 61 yards as time expires. And I mean, it was right down the pipe. And so, like I said, he nailed it. But definitely tough game, tough. I mean, they were right there. But man. I mean, I wasn't surprised by the outcome. I do definitely feel like the better team, won overall. But no, I'm not gonna lie, man. I mean, I don't want to knock the game because they were in that game and they were moving the ball. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily know if I want to knock it all the way. But go ahead and talk to me. I want to hear what you got to say.
So for me, the thing was, to me, it was more so about one, controlling the game. Because when I watched that drive, for them to even get to 4th and 2, they went 3 straight incomplete passes, not 3 incomplete passes, but 3 straight passes where it was iffy. The way that it looked, Willie Jack, was it was different from what the numbers say. You know what I'm saying? And I watched it. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Y'all barely getting this off. Y'all struggling. He's not going through his reads the way he should be. But every time they gave the ball to Saquon Barkley, it was 4 here, 5 here, 6 here, 4 here, 6 here. You know what I'm saying? And they would consistently win the ball. Minnesota ain't stopped nobody all year. You know what I'm saying? So you're able to control this game. You're driving down the field. Now you're in good field position with over 2 minutes left in this game. Like you said, it was a 27-yard touchdown run, right? Mm-hmm. You start to bleed some of that clock out, a chance. You know what I'm saying? Cousins doesn't have a chance to hit Justin Jefferson or whoever he needs to hit to even put them in a position to kick a 61-yard field goal or get in field goal range. Because you're controlling the game. It was more so about controlling the game but also being successful. It's not like he was having a bad game. It was consistent. It was solid. So let's bleed the clock out on this drive, even though, yes, we need a touchdown, but we moving the ball. So let's bleed some of this clock out. And when we score, that's just it.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing as well, because you're already counting those eggs before they hatch, because we're not guaranteed to keep moving the ball down the field the way they were if we go away from what was working. So assuming that 3 of those passes are now handoffs, it's not guaranteed that drive doesn't stall out, bro. Like, we can't just credit and say, oh, man, Saquon was hitting them for 12 a pop. If they'd just gave them the ball, they could have ran some time. Like, nah, bro, they not game. Like when you down, you gotta do what it takes to get points. And like, unless you're like have the ball where it's like first and goal and it's in the inside the 10 or in the 5, then I'll start kind of playing the clock game a little more because then it's more definitive that we're in position to really score. But like I said, they're 30 yards out when he gets that handoff, and then before that, and nobody assumed that he was gonna pop it. So it was a good play call because it's 4th and 2, and they run it was just a gut play. I mean, it was a gap. You know what I'm saying? And so you just run a halfback gut play, and like you said, he hadn't been involved that whole drive, and that's probably honestly would also maybe had a little bit to do with the defense that they faced in that situation because he had turned it to an afterthought. So the scheme and the game plan worked. If the goal is to get a touchdown, then they executed and did it. Like
I agree.
Defense has got to make a play. Defense, we put the game in the hands of the defense at that point.
The defense got to make a play. But even before that, Willie Jack, it wasn't even just that drive. That drive stood out to me. But it's 13. The whole game had been played already besides that last drive. Mm-hmm. And the boy had 13 carries. That was the Giants' last time they had the ball. He had 13 carries, bro.
And honestly,
what I'm saying is that's your best player, too. That's the other part of it. He's your best player. You know what I'm saying? So there's no reason why you're not.
But check me out, though. But this is why I said, but check me out though, because like one thing I would say is like, I definitely feel what you're saying, like, because this is and I hate that we bring it back up, Kamara. But remember when the Saints were first losing, and I was like, how in the hell are y'all losing? And Alvin Kamara had 15 total touches this game. Like, where's the ball going? These are the questions I was asking for Kamara week 1, 2, and 3. Like, how did y'all lose? And the only weapon on the team had 12 combined touches. They had games where Alvin Kamara he wasn't injured. He had 6 carries and 3 catches for 30 combined yards. You know, well, I don't know if it was that drastic.
I know what you mean. I know.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying? So like, and now and especially like if you get now, there's nothing else there though. Like nothing else was working, and we didn't fire our gun. But like that offense was, bro, Danny Dimes had quiet as kept. It was one of his best games he's had. So like the offense. Well, it's subjectively. I guess I am just reading raw stats. You know what I'm saying? But you get what I'm saying? But on paper, let's say. You know what I'm saying? Because I throw for throw, I don't know, man, as far as, you know what I'm saying? I ain't, you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, like, the offense was being successful. And so I also, like, I would have knocked them if they stepped away from what was doing just to force feed Saquon and make sure we get them, because then we throw off what's actually working and going on. Because they were in position to win that game. So if something else is working, then yeah, you want to feature them and figure them in. But the ship's rolling. And like I said, you know what I mean? So I can't knock them for that either, though, if something's cooking.
All I'm going to say, Willie Jake, is they had 17 points in the fourth quarter. It wasn't working that well. They had 17 points. You know what I'm saying?
But wait, though. At the time, remember, it was only a 17-24 game. Like, it was a low-scoring game. Yeah, so they weren't getting washed. So if it was 17-34, that's probably makes more sense. But in a close game, duking it out, hey, y'all right there in the mix, and like y'all being productive in the only reason I'm giving you a little pushback is because the passing game was being like pseudo productive. You know what I'm saying? But I do get what you're saying though. Like let's go down like with our guy taking a swing. You know, and you feel like Saquon didn't really get a chance to take a swing. I get what you're saying though.
42 passes by Danny Dimes. Ain't nobody dialing that up. Ain't nobody dialing that up, man.
Hey, he completed 30 of them. Like, bro, he was cooking a little bit. He was cooking a little bit.
Well, man. So the game turned out the opposite of what I thought, man. And Minnesota ended up the team kicking the game winning field goal. And I called 27-24 too, Willie Jack. But I had it the other way around. I had it the other way around the game winning field goal. But I'll say this too about Justin Jefferson, man. I had something I was gonna say. I knew you wanted to talk about him, so I was gonna go and give him a little bit of praise right here. So I know you all ears right now, so pay attention closely, man.
I'm listening closely.
Might be the only time you ever hear me say something like this. I just
Go ahead.
Justin Jefferson, man, is playing like the best receiver in this league right now. And I know we talked earlier, and it's been a while since we brought this up, about the offensive player of the year, it being Tyreek Hill, and he was on pace for 2K. Now, Justin Jefferson is right there, man. He's now 200.
244 yards, they say?
Yep, 244 yards short of 2,000, 208 short of the single season record set by Calvin Johnson a few years back, man. And we also talked about 6-year runs. You know me, you always talk about 6-year runs, right? And we talked about AB, we talk about Julio, we talk about Jerry. Jerry had like a 12-year run that was insane.
Facts.
But like, but this run right now that Justin Jefferson is on, if he keeps it up, man, I don't think we seen gonna see a 6-year run like this if he keeps it up.
It's too early to look at 6 years, man.
I'm just saying
he's at 1.5 years or 1.35 years.
He's like halfway there. Even if his season stops today,
he's a third of the way there, man. Half of 2 is 4, or half of 4 is only 2.
Half of 6 is 3, and this is his third season.
Well, no, his third season, but I'm talking about his second year as being like considered I'm talking about like as far like we didn't consider him elite all 3. Well, I did, but what I'm saying like he was only considered elite for like these 2, or I guess maybe I was thinking about it wrong. All right, okay, maybe I was thinking about it wrong.
What I'm saying is like I'm saying a 6-year run with that type of
like elite production
with that production, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a tall order. Like he got a long way to go, man. That's a tall order.
I don't see any way, man. And let's knock on wood.
Oh no, I'm not knocking him that he can't do it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, I don't want us to just say it so casually, like that's not like a tremendous thing to say.
I mean, but what he's doing right now, is tremendous. You know what I'm saying? This 3-year run he's on is crazy, especially if he hits 2,000.
No, I've seen it. I've seen this before. We just talked because we were just talking about the all-time greatest 6-year run. So I've seen 3 great years, and I love Justin Jefferson. I'm not knocking him, but I'm saying, I've seen 3 years. I've seen 3 years. Julio had
3 years of this caliber
for sure. Let me see these numbers. Oh man, my phone's finna die. I was trying to pull up these numbers real quick. I'm gonna see if I can find Justin Jefferson yearly stats for me. Because
I'll find them for you right here.
Yeah.
I know you the other guy you gonna say. I'll pull his up right next to it.
Who's that?
Yo boy. What you mean? Who is that? Come on, man. Stop playing, man.
I ain't gonna lie, but like
you can't play me, dog.
Yeah, no, but I ain't even gonna talk about AB or Julio. You know who I was gonna talk about.
Ain't nobody else got a 6-year run like AB or Julio.
No. Oh no. Not even a 6-year run, but I was wanting to see. Okay, here we go. 88 for 1,400 and 7 touchdowns, 108 for 16, 16 and 10, and then currently 123, 17, 56 and 8. You know what I'm saying? So like, man, those are nuts. But like, no, we've definitely seen that. Like, I feel comfortable.
What name was you gonna say?
Well, no, honestly, the guy who I was, I think I was. Let me stop and slow down because honestly, I think I kind of thought about your statement. I took it in the wrong way at first, and so I was gonna make I was thinking somewhere else, but I get where you're going now. And so no, if you're talking about that type of run, what's that? 4,700 yards over a 3-year span, and then what's his touchdowns was? How many touchdowns he's got?
Yes,
he's got 25.
25. Yeah,
4,700 yards and 25 touchdowns with 300 catches over 3 years. And so I would feel good to say, no, Torrey Holt. Torrey Holt was what I was going to say. What was Torrey Holt's greatest show on turf that 3-year run? Because Torrey Holt had 2 back-to-back 1,600-yard seasons, I believe.
Well, I don't think it was this though.
No, I'm just saying. Well, did he went back to back 1,600? I thought. Torrey Holt didn't go back to back 1,600. Was it back to back 1,500?
Nope. He did. He went 16, 13, 13, and then 16, and then 13, and then another 13. Okay. His 6-year run was nice too. 16, 13, 13, 16, 13, 13. That's nice.
But that's where I was gonna go. I was gonna go off the beaten path a little bit because like AB and Julio, we know them. But I was trying to throw you a little, you know what I'm saying? Throw you some love with your rounds, man. But what I'm saying is, so like this is great and special production, but that's what I'm saying. Like we have seen like burst of like, you know what I'm saying, real run like that. And like Marvin Harrison, I bet probably had a 3-year. But now but mind you, the players we're talking about are Hall of Famers. So it's not we definitely not knocking Justin Jefferson. I'm gonna be the last person to knock Justin Jefferson. I introduced y'all. So y'all know what's going on with me, man. It's big JJ over here, man. Y'all know what's going on. But I'm just saying I don't wanna praise them too high too fast. Like I said, it's still some guys out there.
You don't want
to spoil them, man. You know I can't spoil. You can't spoil them yet.
Yeah. I feel you. All right. On to the next one, Bully Jack. Let's keep on pushing, man. We got Cincinnati go to New England to take on the Patriots. Cincinnati came away with this W, man, 22-18, man. And Cincinnati started this game off, man, moving the ball at will. You know what I'm saying? Doing what they pretty much wanted to do with against this New England team. And it was almost like Cincinnati is moving to more of a game plan where their passing game is their run game. You know, Burrow threw the ball 52 times in this game. You know what I'm saying? And in the game where they were up early in this game, well, they were up the entire game. They never were losing in this game. He threw the ball 52 times, 5 yards here, 4 yards here, 6 yards here, like little short passes, dinks and dumps that, like I said, essentially were their run game, and it's been working for them. It's been working
because he's a guy. Put it on me, coach. I got it. Yeah.
Hey, he's a guy, you know, and Mixon only ran the ball 16 times in this game, you know, so that's what they're doing. Cincinnati's defense also played well, you know, and
they've been playing well just on GP for they like this whole 5-6 games. I feel like they've been playing pretty strong, kind of quietly. Yeah. They've been playing real good.
They weren't allowing anything to this Patriots offense, you know, at all. You know, it wasn't until a pick six thrown by Joe Burrow, which we see this from time to time from Joe Burrow, you know what I'm saying? And actually, and Josh Allen too. I put them in the same category in terms of that because every once in a while they'll have a couple plays here and there where it'll just be, damn, what happened there? You know what I'm saying? They make you think. Would you? No.
Okay, my fault. Hey, no, let me tell you what. Well, my screen, you've been freezing on my screen, so I didn't know if.
My bad. All right, we're good.
But I didn't know if your screen has also been kind of freezing since I didn't know if you had like a freeze moment. My fault, bro.
Every once in a while, both of them will have times where like, damn, what just happened there? You know, force a throw,
just forcing one,
pick, you know, whatever the case may be. And that's what got the Patriots going and got them back in this game. It was that. And then Patriots had some fluky stuff going on, deep pass by Mac Jones. Back to Jacoby. It was like a Hail Mary. They batted the ball down, and the guy was waiting for it. It was another touchdown, and I'm just like, all right, here we go. Yeah. But yet again, another play by Ramondre Stevenson that cost the Patriots. They up on the goal line, 1st and goal. They give him the ball. Then my man fumbles, and there's your game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, last week it wasn't him that threw the dime to Chandler Jones. It was Jacoby Myers.
But he got the party started.
He got the party started. He threw that ball back, and after that, it was like, oh, we must be losing this game.
Oh, we just throwing it.
Oh, this what we doing? Oh yeah, I can throw too. Yeah. Dime, Chandler Jones, bring it back, man. But my guy Brian say this is Joe Burrow's time of year. It is. Hey, this is the year he balls. But he's still gonna have to clean up the mistakes though. He has to clean up those mistakes because, you know, pretty soon. Y'all know what time it is. He's gonna have to go see, you know, a Buffalo or a Kansas City, you know, teams like that.
Oh, he ain't worried about Kansas City is second home. Yeah, he chilling.
But it's still tough. That ain't no walk in the park. He ain't going to do it just walking in the park. Now he does own them right now. He
said that's easy work. He said if Aaron Rodgers can own Chicago, why can't I own Kansas City? That's what he told me. I told him I wasn't gonna tell nobody. But you aired it out anyway. You aired it out. I made Joe. Hey, my bad. Hey, man. My fault.
All right. But Cincinnati ends up coming away with the W anyway, man. They win this game, and you know, there you go with that, man.
No, for sure. No, just like you said, man. They came out dominant, jumped right in front, led the whole way. We're at risk of letting the Patriots steal this one away. And then one thing I want to say about this, man, shout out to that dude, Marcus Jones, the guy who, like you just said, man, with the pick six. Yeah, I believe it's Marcus Jones. Yeah,
the boy athletic, boy.
The boy can fly. And then they said with this touchdown, he became the second guy in the history, second to prime time. Did you see this? Where he's got 40-yard touchdowns he's got a return, an interception return, a fumble return, and then like a punt or a kickoff return of 40 yards or more, like in your career or something like
That's
that.
Crazy.
And the only other guy to do it have like all those touchdowns from at least 40 yards is prime time. And so that's the type of company he's in, just showing how dynamic he can be.
For sure. Man, hey, do you want to talk to him, man? You want to let him know what's going on, man?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. We should probably, I ain't gonna lie. We probably should just push through, and then we'll just, you know what I'm saying, we'll get it done.
Wrap it up on the end. That's cool. We're going to do that.
Hey, turbo round, Chop. Let's go. Hey, what you said? Hey, 30-second ball game. Let's go right now. Come on with it. All right.
Detroit, they go to Carolina, man, to take on the Panthers. Panthers end up coming away with this W, man, 37-23. Willie Jack, talk to me.
Man, the Lions shit the bed, man. They went out there. They got out physical. They got hit right in the mouth. Dante Former, Chuba Hubbard ran free reign all over this offense, or excuse me, all over that Lions defense, and really kind of stole this game away, or sold this game away. 21 for 165 with a touchdown for Foreman. Hubbard 12 for 125. Darnold had a scramble in the end zone, or scrambling to the end zone for like the 5-yard line, also 250 in the air and a touchdown. And then for the Lions, you come out, you get an early fumble in scoring position, and then honestly, just the Panthers just didn't take just out physical you. They just literally just beat you guys up and down the field in that running game, and it took y'all too little, too late to finally get going and put some points on the board. And Carolina went out there and really took that game.
Yeah, and it's and to your point, Willie Jack, there's really no way you can win the game when you giving up 320 yards on the ground.
Man.
You know, and the crazy part is we just got done praising the Detroit Lions defense for being able to stop.
Who had finally showed up to the party. They finally showed up
to the party. They went against a Dalvin Cook and the Minnesota Vikings. They slowed him down. You know, then the following week against the team, slowed their run game down. And their run defense has been playing very well. But then this week, I don't know what Wilkes did, man, but he put something together and they were able to run all the way over Detroit, just like the season just started, you know, and Detroit looked like the old Detroit. So Carolina ended up coming away and they just stump a mud hole in Detroit. And that playoff race is getting real interesting.
Yeah. I hope they make it, man. For the sake of Steve Wilkes, man, I hope you make it, big dog. Go ahead and do your thing. It's
a guy.
I hope Detroit makes it as well. I don't want Detroit not to make it so Carolina can, but I want Detroit to make it.
Hey, man, it's a guy coming, man, that's over in the state of Wisconsin and may have something to say about it.
You think he might got something to say about it?
He might sound the same. On to the next one, Willie Jack. We had the Atlanta Falcons go to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. And I'll start this one, Willie Jack, because I called the shit out in this game, man. I called a 20-0 game. Yeah. It was almost 20-0. It was 17-9. But for a minute, I thought I was on to something because Baltimore defense wasn't allowing Atlanta to do anything. But they ended up giving away those 3 field goals, one in the second, one in the third, and one in the fourth to allow Atlanta to get on the board. But that Baltimore defense controlled this game. Gus Edwards had a solid game this one, running for 99 yards. And they pretty much controlled everything and did what they were supposed to do. And they come away with a W. Their defense shut Atlanta down as I thought they would. And they come away with the W 17-9.
Now, and this is Atlanta season comes down to what do we – you good?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, Atlanta season comes down to what does the young guy have? And so it's just the Desmond Ridder show. You know what I mean? When you make this move, you pull this plug, you're essentially saying, hey, the season is going to be what it's going to be, but let's see what we got in this guy. And so right now we need to know, are we drafting another guy? Because we didn't spend a lot for this guy. It's a 3rd-round quarterback pick. We can go grab another one at the store tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't stop us from getting another guy at the position. And so this is his shot to see what he can do. And then honestly, I mean, if we're gonna look at the numbers, 22 for 33 for 218, no touchdowns but no interceptions as well. And so I want to see his production with the other young stars. Drake London, 7 for 96. And so, if anything, and then the other guy, the young running back that's been leading the way there, Tyler Algier, 18 for 74 for him as well. Another 4 for 43 in the air. So, like I said, seeing Ridder with the young group there and seeing, like I said, if he's going to show enough to convince them that maybe they give him a shot next year. Otherwise, they go back to the wishing well. For sure.
On to the Christmas Day games, man. The 3 games that we had on Christmas, and since we just talked about Green Bay and Wisconsin, man, let's go to Miami, man. Where Green Bay goes to visit Miami, and they come away with a W on the road against a dangerous Miami team. They win this game 26-20. Willie Jack, talk to me about this one, man.
Man, Green Bay won't go away. And so, just like you said, man, your boy A.A. Ron, he's coming, man. 24 for 38, 238 in the air, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. A.J. Dillon gets in the end zone as well. 3 interceptions by this Green Bay defense. I don't know if you saw it. I think I forwarded on Instagram a clip of Jair Alexander when they interviewed him, asking him to break down his interception that he had in that game. And dude's, I didn't know he had that much personality. He's a character a little bit. And so if I sent it to you, I thought I sent it to you.
Please send it to me. Share it to the group.
Yeah, man. So just hearing him kind of just talk and break it down or whatever the case. But no, man, that defense showed up and made plays. Tua on his side, 16 for 25 for 310, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Just there's been a terrible, drastic drop off in the quality of Tua's play.
On 3 straight drives.
3 straight drives, 3 straight interceptions, exactly. Waddle finishes with a big day. 8 No. 5 for 143 in the touchdown. But I think one of those went for like 70 yards or something.
Boy, fast, man.
Man, I love to see that boy run. He got some real get up and go, man. That's still real. Tyreek also 4 for 103 as well. The biggest news coming out of this one, Tua sustained another concussion in this game. And honestly, man, I wish I'd have remembered that talking point. We could have talked about this earlier. What's the like, bro? What does Miami do with Tua? I mean, they're still not mathematically eliminated. I think now they've dropped 4 games in a row now, and now he's got another confirmed concussion. And then I saw the replay of the play where it happened, and I mean that's clear as day. Like he gets slung to the ground, and his head it smacks. I mean, he's concussed. Man, given his history, I really don't see how they bring him back regular season. I just don't see how.
Well, they already said Teddy Bridgewater is slated
for this next game, but I'm thinking the last week.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, I just don't know. I mean, I know they on the verge of these playoffs, but man, I'm telling you, they better hope Teddy Bridgewater goes out there and plays well and wins so that they could get that pressure taken off of them for the need to maybe feel like you have to play Tua. But man, I'm telling you, given his specific circumstance, what he's been through, bro, we've seen him have 3 concussions this year.
Right.
Like, guys are getting CTE for having 3 concussions diagnosed in a career. He's had 3 in a span of 11 weeks, bro. Like, that's, hey, man. And serious ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, and hardcore ones. Like, man, he's got to sit. And then, honestly, in the offseason, he's going to have a real conversation with himself, bro. We've seen guys like old boy from the Niners who retired after a year because of concussions or just after his rookie. Chris Boardstrom, man, I can't think of his name now. I feel terrible. I want to say he was a linebacker from Wisconsin, was it? Or Wisconsin or Stanford?
I know you.
Chris Borland. There we go. Chris Borland came in for the Niners, retired after his rookie year. He made the Pro Bowl his rookie year as well. I think he had like 120 tackles. Now, in fairness, he wasn't making like run stops. He wasn't stopping guys at the line of scrimmage or within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage to signify like as far as quality of tackles. It was 120, but a lot of those 120-yard tackles came at the end of 6-yard runs. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little different. But whatever. You know, so that's why we let the film speak over here, Playboy. but retired. You know what I'm saying, for concussions. And then we've seen this. I think Tua, man, he's gonna have to have a real conversation. I know his family is gonna be involved, but I'm just curious to see I'm curious to know what the next 3 years look like for Tua if he's still in this league in 2025. Like, that's how concerned I think the league is and that he should be.
Yeah, for sure. And I would definitely, as a player, be thinking about, hey, man, what do I want to do? Do I want to continue to play this game and continue to go out here and go through this? Or do I want to move on with my life, man? Move on with my life.
We are seeing him shave years off his life. Like, he is costing himself years on the back end, bro, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. So that's crazy. So, I would be, super curious, as you said, Willie Jack. But not to thrive on this too much, man. But I do want to bring up Green Bay, man. And the reason why they won this game is, one, Green Bay is playing like this is it. They went for it on multiple fourth downs. I'm talking about it was fourth down after fourth down after fourth down, where they were going for, like, look, man, this is all we have. We can't lose. We can't afford to lose one more game. If we lose one more game, they could be a playoff spot. And right now, they played themselves in contention because of the way that they're playing right now. So, went for it on multiple fourth downs. They went for it on a fake punt in their own territory. And that's just what they're doing. Aaron Rodgers, some picture perfect throws, man. And this is one guy too. Most of the bad teams or the teams that were playing bad, you can go back and watch the quarterback. Oh man, he's playing bad. Aaron Rodgers is one of the few quarterbacks that was on a rough team start this season that I couldn't honestly say he's just playing bad. Tom Brady was playing bad.
Wait a
Some
minute.
other I'm sorry.
You don't think like somewhere around like between week 2 and 4 when it looked just real ugly, where him and those receivers just didn't have any chemistry at all? I mean, no, I guess that's some fairness because if there is no mix there, but it was some ugly looking ball there for a little bit. I ain't gonna lie.
No, it was ugly ball from Green Bay, but even going back into those games, you can watch some of the play. Like I said, the wide receivers still not really getting much separation. If you watch some of the balls he threw this past week, I mean this last game,
they don't have a route run on they don't have a route run on the field. That's what
nobody's creating much
fast
separation.
guys don't create separation.
Christian Watson was in and out of the lineup early in the season, so even at least with his speed, he can create separation. You know what I'm saying? He can run away from a few guys, which we've seen a few games of.
Well, that's
like,
what I'm saying. But that's what I was gonna say. Like that's a different skill set though. Like he's not creating separation at the catch point, but then he's got the speed to outrun pursuit. So like he's like guys are in phase, or for the most part, you know what I'm saying? Like his thing is like, well, it's different, but none of those guys are built to create separation. Alan Lazard he's another guy. He's 6'3", he's 220 pounds, he runs 4.4. Christian Watson, the same thing. 6'3", 210 pounds, he runs 4.3. Like that's a thing we've seen. MVS before they let him go to Kansas City. Another guy, 6'4", 215 or so, runs 4.3. So like that's a prototype they've been going after, but that prototype doesn't imbue like separation. You need an Antonio Brown for that. You know what I'm saying? You need a Devontae Adams for that. You need
it's a different type of separation.
It's a different skill set. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's where the separation, the lack of separation is coming from. They don't even have those a receiver with that skill set. Romeo Dobbs is too early to see. We don't know what he's going to be. You know what I'm saying? He's a rookie. He's appeared in 8 games, and he's maybe flashed twice. So I mean, nobody can say anything about him. But if we're looking at that roster, there's not a man beater on that team. That's what Chop loves. Chop loves talking about man beaters. We're talking about beating cat coverage, just man coverage. They have a man beater on that team.
They don't have that. So like I said, that's more so to my point. Like you would see Aaron Rodgers have to put the ball right on the money. You know what I'm saying? And then you would see drops, like the very first one of the season. Like he created separation there. You know what I'm saying? He burnt the guy. But that's the type of separation Christian Washington is going to create.
Yeah. And that's fair. Well, I guess when I say separation, I'm talking about like I want you to
route
run. Yeah, I want you to run.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about there.
But I'll run a guy over 60 yards. I mean, what do you?
Yeah, But what I'm saying, but other than that too, like we see. I'm not comparing him to Julio Jones in this sense, but like one thing that Julio Jones was really good at when in Atlanta was those drag routes. He'll just run full speed across the field. It wouldn't be like a route specifically, but he'll get about 6 or 7 yards up the field, or 3 or 4 yards up the field, and just run straight across the field. But the cornerback just couldn't keep up with him, and that's a type of separation where you can hit him on a drag route and he can let the receiver just do the rest. You know what I'm saying? Route running that's not Christian Watson's game. But I've seen Christian Watson do that a little bit in this game too.
I mean, but that's exactly how he's being effective. Is just those type of routes, just like long-standing routes that take him from one side of the field to the other, because he can be covered in small areas for sure. You know what I'm saying? So if he's only working 8 yards worth of width on a part of the field, like running his route where he's going to break, he's covered. He can't create separation. But if you let him, build up speed as I run 30 yards across the field, well, then you, like I said, guys aren't going to be able to keep up with me at 6'3", 215, running 4.3 nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's exactly the way they've been capitalized on him. Okay. But outside of those 1 or 2 splash plays a game where he catches that 8-yard drag and then outruns the guys to the, you know what I'm saying? Outside of that, he's almost more or less, he's more likely to be a non-factor than a factor outside of those very specific instances.
Okay, for sure.
But matter of fact, let's take us to San Francisco real quick if you don't mind, because that's the last part of the good games, and then we'll get out this thing.
Yeah, we get out of here, man. And let's go. I'm sorry. We had. I ain't even put the what you call it down here.
I got the score if you need it.
No, here we go. We got Washington. They go to San Francisco, man, and San Francisco takes care of business, man. The well-oiled machines, 37-20, man. 37-20. Go ahead, Willie Jack. Talk to me on that one.
Man, just like he said, man, my dog Chop said, I got to get to him, man. I'm not going to lie. I am very surprised. And not to say that Brock Purdy I don't want to oversell it, but I can't hate on him at all. My dog Chop said it before it happened. That is a well-oiled machine. Brock Purdy is just enter quarterback C. It doesn't matter who. The quarterbacks don't have names. And this is what's so funny about this as well. His daddy was like that with running backs. Didn't matter who the running back was. Put one back there, I'll give him 1,400 yards. You know what I'm saying? And now we're seeing Kyle Shanahan do something like this with quarterbacks, where not necessarily specific stat outages or nothing like that, but I'm saying as far as I need a guy that can stay healthy and take these snaps. Do that, and I can get us to an NFC championship. You know, that's kind of what it's looking like. It's plug and play, paint by number. Like, hey, can you stand up? Can you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it doesn't take much. And so on the day, 15 for 22, 234, 2 touchdowns and a pick. I think this is his first turnover as well, and I think this came off of a tip pass, if I remember right. I'm almost positive it was like a tip pass, but I believe this is his first turnover to this point. It's only like it's been 3 games now, but he was leading the league in, I think, passer rating and all that type of stuff, efficiency numbers. Explosive play from Raymond McDonald on a zone sweep. It goes 70 yards for a touchdown. Christian McCaffrey, a modest 15 for 46 at a touchdown. George Kittle had a day. 6 foot, $120 and 2 touchdowns. And this is what's crazy about Kittle. It's established and it's known, and I'm not arguing otherwise as well, that he is a dominant player at the position. But, like, he really hasn't – like they said, this is his first game of having multiple touchdowns. This is his first game of having 2 touchdowns, I think the announcer said. And I wasn't even sure if I heard that right, but I'm pretty sure they said that this is his first game of his career where he's had 2 touchdowns. And I think as far as even 100-yard games, I don't know if he's had 10. And it's really just nuts to think about how dominant and the esteem and in the regard we hold him in. And then, but credit to us, dog, because you let the film speak around here, because I'm starting to wonder, like, man, golly, like, he a stud, like, he ain't ever went for 2 times in the game. Like, you know, like, I mean, and not to say that that's
I think it may have been this year though, because I think I remember him last year.
I thought so as well, but when they said that, I was like, man, there's no way. But then I think about it, I'm like, you know what? That offense, it is more. It's the sum of the machine is greater than the sum of its parts in that offense. That's how that offense works. It's really like that. And so I'm like, not for anything deficient in him, but he hasn't been called upon to shoulder that style of load like a Travis Kelce.
Yeah, but it was like, when Debo went out, it was like, all right, let's activate Travis.
Hey, there you go. Boom. All right. Hey, we got
George. Let's activate George.
Hey, Kittle, you ready? Yeah, man, he been over blocking in the mud for 9 weeks, so the smile on his face ain't said nothing, and then shows up. Oh, y'all ready for me? All right, here's 6 for $120. I'm giving boy sauce in the field on the way to man. He's out there hurt boys' feelings. He's out there, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I ain't gonna say Gronk, because Gronk was a whole nother animal in the open field. But boy, it's different.
It's right there.
It's different, but no, I don't know if it's that close, bro. Like, man, 09 Gronk is like all time, bro. 09, like from 09 to 12, what was that run? There was a 4-year run with Gronk, bro, where like he was rewriting everything about the position. Like it was scary. Yeah. Who was in the building talking to me a little bit? D knows. He said, "What's good? What's the word, my boy? Appreciate you." My dog Hoop in the building, man. He just slid in, man. Appreciate the love already, big dog. And then no balls, no glory. This is his second week in a row with 2 touchdowns. No, you're right. And I think what they said was like, okay, this one being the second one, but like these are the first games he's had 2 touchdowns. And I think his career high for touchdowns on the season, he's also reached that. But the old mark was only like 6. It was like 6 or 7. And so now he's already reached that mark, but I think he has like 7 or 8 touchdowns. I'm trying to remember the commentary, but just whatever it is, like the mark was low, and I'm talking relatively now because we're talking at the cream of the crop. We're talking at the top of the top, so we're critiquing the 1%. So I want everybody to keep that in mind. You feel me? But what I'm saying is, but that's a low mark. You know what I'm saying? Like 7 touchdowns in a season is the mark you got to hit, though. Like 2 touchdowns in a game is the mark you got to hit, bro. You know what I mean? Like it just when you hear that in perspective, it just kind of is surprising. And then obviously it gets back to your point where different situation, different circumstance. What's his numbers look like? What's his numbers look like in Kansas City? You know what I'm saying? You know what? Do they still feel like they wasted that draft pick on Clyde Edwards-Helaire if it's Kittle blocking for him on the edge now instead of Travis Kelce? Is Clyde Edwards-Helaire a better draft pick now? I mean, there's just so many things that that goes into that. You know what I mean? So, but if woulda, shoulda, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I just thought it was funny when they said that. I'm like, damn, man, for as dominant as we consider them, as great as we consider them, like, bro, those are some low milestones. Like, bro, those are some low milestones. You know what I'm saying? But it's nothing to do with any deficiency for him. But it was interesting to me.
There you go. All right, Willie.
Oh, one more thing, my bad, big dog. We're going to get out of this, I swear. Carson Wentz is the starter in Washington going forward now. He done got his job back. He came in spot duty for Wentz or for Heineke. He looked good. 12 for 16, $123, got in the end zone, didn't turn the ball over, and he's been announced as the starter at least for this next game for sure.
Is it too early for bold predictions, man? Is it too early for bold predictions?
At this point? What can be bold?
Jahan Dotson, man.
Okay.
He will be the best receiver in Washington. I know you like your boy Scary Terry. Jahan Dotson, bro. Mark my words, Billy Jack.
Hold on, man.
Mark my words, brother. Jahan, write it down. Please write it down. Make sure you write it in bold.
I'm hollering at D Nose, man. He was talking about them tight ends. He was talking about the tight ends are coming on of late, and he gave a shout out to Evan Ingram. And I was telling him, like, Evan Ingram definitely been, man, I feel like, I tell you what, boys waited a long time to see something come out of Ingram, man. I'm glad he showed up because boys was patient with that boy for about 4-5 years. We gave him every excuse from Jason Garrett being a new offensive coordinator to Danny Dimes just ain't got it to they don't have a Saquon can't stay healthy to take attention off him. We gave him every excuse in the gamut, and then and it didn't matter. It looked like he was going to be a guy that slowly faded from the annals of anybody's memory, and then lo and behold, now for 5 weeks, boy looks like he looks like any of these the names that we know that play at the top of the position. So shout out to him for sure. And then he said that would end Scary Terry season. Yeah, man, Winston Scary Terry didn't have a good connection before Heineke came in. And so to start the season, and that's a good point. And that leads me to what I was going to ask you when you say that. Are you saying that because now Wentz is in and Wentz has better rapport with Dotson? Is that what you're saying? Or you're just saying that you just think that Dotson has a higher ceiling?
I think Jahan Dotson is the real deal, bro. I think he is the real deal. I'm sorry.
Let me tell you. See, first off, this is why I don't like what you just said. Okay. Because first off, you got to keep in mind we watching Stephon Diggs in Minnesota. That's who Scary Terry is. Wait till he gets to Buffalo. Like, wait till Scary Terry gets his Big Josh. That's what that's the player I'm seeing. I'm seeing that type of jump. I'm seeing that type. He's doing this with bums. This is Andre Johnson. You know what I'm saying? He's doing it with a host full of guys that can't be the backup on most of your teams. Tyler Heineke has to fight for a 2 spot on a lot of teams in the league. Well, no, maybe not so much because now he's made a name for himself. But you dig what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't walk in anywhere and has a roster spot. These are the guys he's made a name with and got himself paid with. Boy, y'all better hope he don't find his way to Jacksonville. Y'all better hope he don't find his way to LA. Let him get out there with Justin Herbert. I'm telling you, that boy, we haven't even seen what really he could be. Like, that's why I can say that. And Dotson, I just don't see Dotson still that high. Now, I didn't like Dotson that much coming out of Penn State. He looked slow on that play. He couldn't turn the corner. He couldn't turn the corner on his Penn State film. And they tried to use him like a guy who was a jitterbug. They tried to use him like a Tyreek. They wanted to jet sweep him and zone run. They wanted to do all these things. He didn't have the juice. He couldn't get the edge. He couldn't get the corner against Michigan State. You know what I'm saying? When I watched that film. And so that was one of the knocks I had against him. And I was surprised how well he did in the league. I do have to give you that because he's played damn well for sure. But I don't see the upside that I see with a guy like Terry. Terry's waiting on somebody else Terry's waiting on a co-star. Terry needs a running mate. You know what I'm saying? He needs his Big Josh. He needs his Joe Burrow. You know what I'm saying? He needs his Kirk Cousins now, even with Justin Jefferson, how he turned him up. Like, he needs somebody to really, help him turn up.
Excuse me.
No, he's balling, though. That boy sounded $60 million. That boy sound for, was it 65 million? No.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying excuse me for. Yeah. I'm just saying excuse me. Just give me a second.
Ain't no excuse. He's good for 1,208 touchdowns right now. Come on, man. Give him. And with a guy named Tyler Heineke throwing the ball.
Why you argue with me, bro? I never argue with you. I never said any. I never disagreed with nothing you said. I'm just saying, excuse me. I just want to say something.
Johan Dotson, bro.
Jahan Dotson. That's all I said.
Hey, no, he been balling though, man.
This is not a knock to Scary Terry and who he is and who he may become. What I said, and I said, is it early enough for bold predictions?
You did, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. You
said Jahan Dotson will be the best receiver in Washington. That's it. That means I believe he will be better. Because I don't think Scary Terry.
So you envision him being
right now.
Wait, so you envision him being, let's say, a top 8 receiver? Because I think Scary Terry is in that top 15.
I don't know. I'm not envisioning no number. He's gonna be the best receiver in Washington. That's what I'm envisioning. The best receiver in Washington, whatever that means, whatever number that falls into, or whatever that is what it's gonna be. Jahan Dotson is the real deal.
You also told me Chase Claypool was going to be the number 1 receiver in Pittsburgh as well, man. You remember I told you about that now as well, man.
Yeah, and it look like neither him or Deontay Johnson is.
Hey, but between the two, yeah, I called that one though.
I ain't sit up and say I ain't never been wrong. I've been wrong, but hey, that's a part of the game. Come on, Willie, let's just get on up out of here, man. We got Tampa Bay going to Arizona, man. This game went to overtime. Tampa Bay wins up winning this game 19-16. And to be honest, man, I didn't like watching this game. Not a good game played by either team. Tom Brady struggled as he has all season. 2 bad interceptions, man. I'm talking about terrible interceptions.
And a missed touchdown pass to Julio.
Yeah, and a missed touchdown pass to Julio. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a rough game for them, but hey, they pulled it out when they needed to. This is a game they needed to win. We keep talking about Carolina and New Orleans and those teams being right behind them, and they needed to win this game just to hold on to that spot. And they still 1 game ahead. And now we got 2 weeks left, but Tampa Bay still holds that spot. And the last point I want to point out, man, is your boy J.J. Watt, man. Your boy J.J. Watt looked like he looked like hey, he's hanging him up, but he looked like old J.J. Watt in this game.
He turned the clock back. Back for this.
I watched multiple fourth and short situations where J.J. Watt was right there in the back pocket of everybody that's in the backfield. It's like running the ball. Yeah, I was. That's what it was, man. Hey, man, Watt, man, kudos to him. Very, very great career, man. Will be in the Hall of Fame at some point when his time comes. But Tampa Bay ends up coming away with the W, man. Much needed win for them, and hey, they hold on for another week.
No, and my take on this game is I don't have nothing to say about the game. Bad football, man. One bad team beat another bad team. But yeah, like I said, man, J.J. Watt, man, last time going against TB12, and JJ's type of guy, he's a guy, especially when you're at the end. Maybe that's just one of the things that comes along with, I guess, like age. You know what I'm saying? Now you start to worry about things. You start to think about things like legacy. You know what I'm saying? A guy who's 23-year-old, he ain't thinking about his NFL legacy. You know what I mean? J.J. Watt is finna go to NFL heaven. You know what I'm saying? His NFL career is about to die. You know what I'm saying? Then he's got to wait 5 years. So, like, now that he's at the end, you do kind of worry about the top. And, like, your last time going against Tom Brady, his last home game ever when he announced his retirement. You know what I mean? So, like, those things mean a little extra to him. And actually, and I'm telling you, he definitely does to back the clock. And shout out to the guy they was calling him, like, Baby JJ, number 97. Was it Chase Thomas, this guy's name? Because he had a big game as well, playing next to JJ as well, and they were calling him Baby JJ. Another big white dude, number 97. He's leaner. He's not as brolic as JJ. JJ's like 6'6", 300. This kid's probably like 6'5", like maybe 2'8". He looks a lot leaner, but he had a good game as well. But nah, man, all I want to say, man, y'all already know where I'm at with JJ, man. JJ is all time. You can argue with your mama. You know what I'm saying? JJ starts on my all-time defense. There's no DN greater than Jamison Gerald with a J Watt. Or no, what is it? Is it Jesse James Watt? Or is it Justin Jefferson Watt? Or somebody tell me JJ Watt is better than any DN not named Reggie White to ever touch a football field. You can argue with your mama. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking JJ number 2. That's prime JJ. That 4-year run of JJ. Prime JJ was different than anything else we've seen. I've talked to Chop about this. I've argued with y'all in the group about it. I don't want to care. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what PFF that told you with Aaron Donald's numbers. Aaron Donald at his best didn't look like J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt dominated the league as a defensive end in the 3-4, and he dominated the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, he should have got an MVP on an 8-8 Houston Texas team that he got to a playoff game where he had 20 batted passes. He had 5 touchdowns as a tight end. He had 20 sacks. What more did you want from him? Got him to the playoff games and they lost to the Bengals because the team was. But like, yeah, bro, all time. Give me Reggie. Give me JJ, and I'll probably take Deacon Jones. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, all time, man, Hall of Fame career. Like I said, y'all can argue with your mom. Y'all got to let me know. I'm ready for all that smoke. Y'all gonna tell me I'm off on this JJ tape, boy. Y'all wild. Y'all crazy as hell. John Reynolds went no defense in, D-Nose. Hey, where you from, D-Nose, man? You in here, you real active, bro. I appreciate you. What's your name, man? D-Nose said John Reynolds. John Reynolds played D-tackle, but he was an undersized 3-tech as well. But and you know what? John Reynolds a guy, and I don't want to front like this was early 90s Minnesota Vikings. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I was watching football, but I ain't know football. So I don't want to front like I can opine on the greater, you know what I'm saying, proficiencies and deficiencies of his game specifically. So anything I know about him, I had to go back and do my research. But definitely a guy who's probably doesn't maybe get enough credit for being such a disruptor at that he was the Aaron Donald before we had Aaron Donald. A 6 foot, 280 pound, and he may have been 270. 6 foot, 270-pound defensive tackle that was an absolute animal. You couldn't stop him. He was a 130 sack guy. I want to say he's roughly, if I can remember, roughly 130 career sacks or something like that. At 6 foot,
137.
God damn, I'm good, Chop. Damn, I just pulled that out the man. Yeah, 130. What you say, Chop? 137, man.
137 and a half.
Just so y'all know I don't play, boy. Y'all better ask somebody. 130 sacks as a guy that played around 275, 280 at 6 foot, man. So, and he was undrafted from like some small D3 school. So he's got a crazy story. And so a guy that kind of gets for a guy that doesn't get enough recognition. So I like you throwing out his name as well for sure. And just an absolute character. I love like highlights and stuff with him because he was out there talking real spicy to boys. It just getting under boys' skin. So I like it.
Hey man, this is when Willie Jack come with it, man. I like listening to him. I just let him go, man, because he start arguing with himself and everything. I don't think nobody said anything about Aaron Donald. He started arguing JJ Watt.
Because they was undersized gang, and then Dino said, "Oh, okay, for no boss, no glory." Okay, shows. Hey, I appreciate the love, there, homie. I appreciate the love, homie. No, but I was just because you say John Reynolds. So I was okay. Well, what do I know about John Reynolds? I was okay. I know it's the '90s Vikings. I know he had about 130 sacks. I know he was about 6 foot 270. You know what I'm saying? That's Aaron Donald. You know, it took me there.
All right, Willie Jack, man. Let's go on to this Monday night game, man. We had the Los Angeles Chargers. They go to Indianapolis, man. They come away with this W 20-3, man. 20-3. Give me your take on this one, man.
Man, a mediocre team beat a very bad team. And so the coach, and now here's the thing. Nick Foles gets to start in this. And shout out to Nick Foles, because I can't blame him at all. It's probably his last hoorah, his last goal. And he said, boy, I'm going down slinging. One thing y'all not going to tell me is I'm not going to go out there slinging this mother, because he went out there letting them go. Now, they all got intercepted. but he was like, if I don't do nothing else, I'm going to have 40-yard completions or I'm going to have 40-yard interception punts. And he had 3 40-yard interception punts. You know what I'm saying? So, but and I'm not even gonna fault Nick Foles for that, because you could tell it was a point of it. Like when I see that, like when I saw how aggressive they came out and then how aggressive they maintained, they went for it on 4th down early, they got it, and then they end up stalling out on that drive anyway after they get a field goal to open the game. But when I see them come out and like I said, intentionally, everybody scripts their first, or most everyone scripts their first 15 plays, and so he comes out and they're airing it out. So they were making it a point that we're going out here like we have nothing to lose because we're not playing for anything. We're going for it on 4th down. We're airing this bitch out for better or for worse. And they did it, and now it was for worse. And then on the other side of that, of course, Justin Herbert and the Chargers, they did what they had to do to get out of there with a victory, 24 for 235, no touchdowns and an interception. Austin Eckler getting busy in this game, though, 2 touchdowns on the ground. That Chargers defense, man, a nuisance for Foles and that Colts offensive line all day. 7 sacks in this game to go along with those 3 interceptions. And then, of course, the controversial play or call in this game, Derwin James getting ejected at the second quarter for a hit on the defenseless receiver in the flat. And he smoked him. I mean, He cleaned him. He cleaned him for sure. But gets ejected from the game. But other than that, man, he loses that game, but they pick up the win and cement their ticket to the playoff dance, so they clinch, and so they're going. But yeah, that's probably everything in that one, bro.
Gotcha. And you pretty much wrapped it up with the Jack. And I'll say this, man. In the AFC, it's one wild card spot left, and it's one division that's still open. Of course, and that the division is with Tennessee and Jacksonville. So essentially, it's gonna come down to them the last week of the season, who wins that division, and then like I said, we got that one wild card spot left. Right now, Miami sits in that spot, but you got a few teams sitting on the outside hoping they can get in. You got the Patriots sitting out there, New York Jets sitting out there. You know what I'm saying? It's a few teams that are out there, man, that can come away with that last playoff spot over in the AFC. So, you know, Miami's going to have to get it together. The Chargers are already in, so they can be dangerous, man. I still think they can be dangerous. Now, they got some kinks and some things they need to work out. Justin Herbert still missing reads at times. The run game is, even though they got the rushing touchdowns, the run game is still lackluster. They need to do more there. But they in. They did enough to get in. They made it in there. And if you in, we all know a lot of things can happen. Anything can happen. So I'm anxious to see what's going to happen with them. But they go ahead and clinch that spot. They win this game, take care of business against, like you said, a bad Indianapolis team. And yeah, man, that's the way it goes, Willie Jack. And there we go with it. There we go with it, man. So, Willie Jack, I think that wraps up all the games, man. I think that was all the games, man. It took us a little minute. I know we went off on our little
man. We did a little bit
going back and forth. You know, me and Willie Jack, we tend to do that from time to time. But hey, man.
No, you know what it was? Remember, this was the first no more bye weeks. It was the full slate.
It was there, but we had a couple times where we was just going. It wasn't no bye weeks last week or the week before that either, and we was fine.
It wasn't no bye weeks then. I thought last week we actually talked a little bit. We made some good time.
This week we was going, bro. We was going a little
bit. Hold on. Dino said he wants to know, man, real quick before we wrap it up, which team you want to get the last wild card, NFC or AFC? If it's NFC, and I don't know where they sit or the probabilities, but I want Detroit to get in. So if there's any way for Detroit to get in, I want Detroit to get in for sure. And then in the AFC, well, of course, I mean, there's like a snowballs. There's a melting snowballs chance in a very hot hell that maybe Pittsburgh slides that 7th spot if like 12 things happen. But realistically, I hope Jacksonville gets in it. I want Jacksonville to hold on to that NFC South and get in, and I want the Detroit Lions to get in on the NFC. Or would I guess that wouldn't be a wild card spot. What's the wild cards? I'm over Miami, so I'm not worried about seeing Miami in there. I'm over that. But who's left? I mean, you know what? The Jets. Let me see the Jets go ahead. Go ahead and get Miami spot and let them let Chop's boy Mike White get some playoff run. Maybe he gets some money.
That would be the team I would want if not Miami. But I think I'm okay with Miami standing there, man. Miami standing there. I want to see those weapons, man. I want to see those guys. I love to see when those guys them boys run, boy.
Bro, I am afraid that I'm going to be sitting here on Sunday Night Football watching a snuff film of Tua getting his head split open. I don't want to see the boy play football no more, bro. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be an accessory to the crime after the fact. I don't want to see it, man.
And then in NFC, I think I want the Giants to stay in, and I want the Green Bay to get that last spot from Washington. I want to see Green Bay get in, man.
You said who would you say before Green Bay?
The Giants to get that last spot.
Oh, the Giants. No, Giants over with, bro.
But you know what? The other one, I don't want. Giants might not even have to do nothing and still win and still get in. But as far as I want New Orleans to get that last spot from that division from Tampa Bay though.
See, I don't want New Orleans. I'd rather have Carolina in. Matter of fact, yeah, Carolina. I want Carolina to get it.
Okay.
I want to have Carolina. I want to see Carolina get it. Until New Orleans does right by Jabu wins. We put a hex on you.
All right, let's get on about here, man. Go ahead.
Hey, man, there you go, man. That's it. That's all, man. We appreciate everybody staying and rocking out with your dogs, man. I know we went the long way tonight, man. 2.5, man. I'm sorry for that, man, but we appreciate the love already, man. Quick rundown, man. No balls, no glory was in the building real heavy today, man. We appreciate all the love, fellas. Man, the home team was in the building, man. My moms came through, man. Appreciate the love, mama. OG Jeff was in the building, man. Appreciate that, Jeff. My dog Hoop Jargon, man. My dog Hoop was in the building, man. Appreciate the love, homeboy. Man, I'm looking for you real quick, man. I'm trying to be quick. D knows as well, man. You was in here real active here at the end to close it out with us, man. So appreciate all that love as well. So, hey, man, other than that, y'all know what's going on, man. You can say it with me at home if you're still watching, man. If I forgot to say your name, come on, man. Charge it to my head, man. Don't charge it to my heart. You know we thinking about you, big dog. We couldn't be here without you. We wouldn't want to be here if we didn't bring you with us. So we appreciate all the love and support as always, man. Y'all know what's going on, man. Wednesday, 7 o'clock. We don't wear no watches, man. We ain't got nowhere else to be. Right in here talking ball. Kicking it with your dogs. Let the film speak, man. Circle right back, man. Tap in with us on Sundays, man. Y'all missing it. Y'all missing some gems on that Sunday show, man. I'm tired of having to tell them about the gems they missing on Sunday mornings, bro. Because we drop Salt Bay with gems, though. This is what we doing, bro. Bro, hey, wait till after the season and Chop get back in his bag and play back some of the shit we done caught. Man, hey, man, we was on it. Hey, we done dropped some nuggets, boy. I tell you that. So I can't wait for y'all to see when Chop put that together. He promised us, and I'm holding to it because I know we was on fire, bro. We had some stuff cooking this year, bro. Hey, we have some stuff cooking. Y'all need to tap in with your dog. I say all that to say, tap in with your dogs on Sunday morning, man. Sunday at 10 o'clock, man. Check out Michael Strahan and the boys. You know what I'm saying? How they don't say what's good. And then come in and holler at your dogs as well, man. Get yourself right before you enjoy yourself and enjoy your football Sunday. Other than that, man, hope everybody had a very happy and safe holidays, man. Close it out, man. We got one more week of this thing before 2023 gets here. So, man, everybody stay safe, man. Love the people you with, man. Enjoy the people you with as well, man. Other than that, we appreciate all the love and support. And we will be back Wednesday at 7 o'clock, man. Other than that, y'all stay smooth. Peace.
Peace.